Hello everyone and welcome to London for week 3 of Blast Premiere. We've got some top tier Counter-Strike coming your way. My name is Sjokz. I will be your desk host for the weekend alongside two legends in their own right, Thorin and Spunj. And I gotta be honest with you straight off the bat, a couple of days ago Semler called me and he said, I can't with these two. I am absolutely donezo. You gotta come in. I want to cast with Anders, so this is what it is.
It wouldn't be the first time he broke up a winning formula. I would say that the craziest chance for an upset is probably OG, because again, they're very low ranked, but they're also a squad that haven't had that much experience. If you read some of the recent interviews, they're actually still figuring out the IGL situation. So there's enough moving parts there. I feel like if they somehow realign into a better composition than we've seen, maybe they hit their stride, because the good thing about this group is you've got the likes of EG. They can be very up and down despite what a high-ranking team they are. So the door's open there if you can sort of force your way through.
Would you say it looks like there's more than meets the eye when you look at these teams, and it could be the closest group very well of the other two we've seen already?
There's lots of unknowns again, right? Of OG and the likes of G2 have played tournaments earlier in this year, whereas 100 Thieves and EG, who are the favorites, haven't. So we need to see what form they're coming in with. If we look at Astralis and Liquid as teams to measure by the same likelihood, they're going to have some ring rust. They're not going to be performing towards that top level. If they lose these opening games, if we get 100 Thieves versus EG in the lower bracket match, one of the favorites is out straight away.
Exactly. And let's take a look at that translated into predictions. Only 2 G2 Esports votes there and only 1 OG vote from Mohan for the second game.
He's just trying to be special, isn't
he?
If you've seen him, he's a very fancy boy now. He doesn't wear socks anymore. He has loafers on. He's got his own coloured suit and everything. So he's just trying to do that thing that Moses did, where you just pick the weird one, and if you're right, you pretend like you're a genius, and if not, you go, I was just joking.
Yeah, it's like a quick shot in the LEC. He doesn't really win at predictions ever, but at least he's quirky when he predicts them, and that's maybe Mohan role here. We'll see. 100 Thieves. First time we'll get to take a look at them. Obviously, I'm going to go to Spunj because they're from Australia. So what are we expecting from them off this first tournament of the year?
Well, right here, the numbers don't really indicate what I'm about to say, but JKS and Jacob are the star players of this team. JKS, the first Australian player to ever make it in HLTV.org top 20, which is a huge accomplishment. But you look at his numbers there, obviously in recent time hasn't been performing to that level. You've got Azza as part of that duo. They've been together now since 2014. And the two new boys, Gratisfaction, actually from New Zealand, and Liaz there on the end. This team, they have fundamentals down, right? That's what they've built their base on. This is what ENCE was meant to be, and they've become it. Now, look, they made it to the top 5 in the world at one point last year. They were looking hot to trot, and they understand that the best practice, it can be done here in Europe, and that's why they've been here for a month now.
Absolutely, a long boot camp for them. And if we look at last year when they were still Renegades, of course, they actually had a fantastic year, even though it was riddled with visa issues. If we look at semi-final at the Berlin Major, a great performance in Katowice, but it was in between that it didn't always go as well. Yeah,
they did have this unfortunate period where even though people know, for example, like Smuya stood in at one point in time, I don't think people understood the impact that the visa issues had, because when they got Gratisfaction back, they didn't have time to practice in. They had to go straight into a big long stretch of tournaments, and they basically just never hit the ground running. So actually a lot of people, because of how long the lineup had been around, kind of wrote them off and thought they're never going to make it, Whereas you saw after that major and on through the break, they were legitimately constantly a top 5 team in the world. They actually, I'd say, along with Astralis, were probably the 2 most consistent teams in the world. So
and that's why
that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, that's why slightly I'm actually very hyped about what they can do also under the new banner and maybe the new resources that will become available for them. A nice little link there between Kassad and Nexa. Of course, Nexa, one of the 2 non-French and now new members on this G2 lineup with Hunter. Thorin, they have finally broken out of the all-French lineup tradition as such. What do you think of this lineup?
Yeah, the problem with it is a mixed bag, not just nationality-wise, even in terms of playing style. Like, the one positive I have for this team is I do actually think their coach Malek does a pretty good job generally, and I've heard he's constantly been trying to tweak the system they use and who plays what roles, etc. So maybe there's some hope there, because I kind of thought, I understood why they made the risk and they went international, and even though actually the international players have been the best part about the team, the rest of the team hasn't really responded yet. So they were in a bad shape anyway when they were the old G2 lineup. They haven't quite gotten out of it yet, so I think in this group they've got a lot to prove.
Can I ask you, you say a risk breaking out of that only French lineup? I know the language obviously is so incredibly important in the communication, but surely opening up the door to possible any top player from anywhere just ups the ante for everyone on the team and outside of it.
Oh, look, it means that now G2 can pivot and they can get rid of the French completely. That's what it means going forward.
Is that what you would want?
No, well, if it doesn't work, I think, that would be the way that Ocelot and co would be taking this team, right? Because the French, they've had their chances under the G2 banner for a very long time, and they need to start showing up now. You heard Kassad saying this is a young team. It's a young team in terms of the amount of time they've been together, but you're looking at Jax, who's only broken into the pro scene at this level. He's already 27, Amanex 25, and then you've got Kenny and Hunter are both at 24. Nexa, the in-game leader, he's 22. He's the young pup of the team, and he has the most responsibility on his shoulders. Now, they had some good tournaments last year, but they weren't against tier 1 opponents, right? That's actually maybe a good thing for them. They could warm into it. They could kind of work out some of the kinks. And we heard yesterday, actually, from Nexa that he said that they've actually changed their approach with the team. They brought Kenny more into the entry fragging pack. That's probably going to be alongside with Jax and Hunter. So I assume it might be that trio, but we're going to have to wait and see how this one works on out because they weren't using Kenny as a star AWPer previously.
There we go. What a spoiler alert. Can you not spoil the interviews that are supposed to be
watch the
played?
interviews before chat and just repeat what they're going to say.
I actually didn't know what he was going to say, so
sure.
I'm glad that it really backs up my point there. But one quick thing there with Crazy and him moving on to this team, Crazy was a team that performed really well at that Berlin Major, or at least above their
They
expectations.
almost made top 8. They almost beat Astralis.
And what was curious was that Nexa and Hunter came out after that acknowledging the fact that that was probably, I don't want to call it a fluke, but they probably over-exceeded their own expectations and knowing that moving to this G2 roster was a better move for the future. And then the last bit he was talking about is some barriers. I don't know if everybody saw it, but at the Summit event towards the end of last year, they lost to Mouse Sports without their in-game leader and a stand-in. So
and not their star player.
Yeah, so that right there was a bit of a punch in the gut, and hopefully they've been able to learn from that, and when they're up in series, they can close it out, because that's a big learning curve right there.
Yeah, we'll find out. Thorin, talk to me about Nexa as the in-game leader, who is still, of course, very young in that role. Sure. On the other side, up versus Azure, who is also the in-game leader with a bit more experience, I would say. How will they match up in this match?
Yeah, well, the interesting thing is, like, stylistically as players, they're very different, because funnily enough, Azure used to be a star player, but has very much become one of those lower fragging IGLs. I mean, the stats here don't show it as much because actually he's had a pretty good last few months, but generally you expect to see him at the bottom of the scoreboard, but he's doing a very good job by all accounts. Like, you see the game plan they implement, they play a pretty smart Counter-Strike generally, they don't make a lot of mistakes in terms of reading the game. Then you go over to Nexa's side, he kind of does it the other way around, because this guy used to just be a player, but now as an IGL, pretty good fragger actually. Again, maybe the stats don't quite show it here, but we're talking more generally about his career. You can actually expect him to be one of the higher people up on the scoreboard in G2, so for me it's also about how they fit the style of their team. Like, I think Azza's doing a great job within his team. Nexa, there's still the question, whenever you're performing well as an IGL but your team isn't as good, like, are they playing the style that would fit you? Is that your calling style? Because I feel like personally on G2, I'd open it up a little bit more if I'm with these guys. I'd run a lot more defaults. I'd have Kenny S and Hunter in the positions where they're going to, like, feast on their frags, and I'd kind of just play a little bit more by ear on the rest of it. But I feel as though Malek and Nexa, they want to go for a little bit more structure. They want to actually have like a deeper game plan. So maybe some friction there, I feel like.
Yeah.
Just to note as well, Nexa, as Kassad mentioned, he was one of the players that came over to Renegades. That was back in 2017. Nexa and Azza and JKS all played with each other back then. So there's a bit of history there, but you're going back, 3 years now. Nexa's only 22. This is when Nexa was still a teenager. Yeah. So he's grown a lot as an individual and as a player since those days. But in terms of an in-game leader who, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, of who can make the really big plays. Glaive was at the top in terms of his calling ability and then the way that he would react in certain situations. I've seen glimpses of that from Nexa. I think that he can be a good in-game leader. He is still very young, still getting molded, but he knows when he needs to make a big play. And that's one of the keys for that individual right there. And then, the other part of this duo that's joined the G2 roster, Hunter, he's older than Nico. For those who aren't aware, Nico from FaZe, that's his cousin. And he's got similar tendencies in the sense of a bit of an aim star. See, there you go, the hugging. JKS and Nexa, they remember each other.
Yeah, they do. That's, it's bad blood, you can't be hugging your opponents before you get and murder them.
Doing that whole, like, keep your enemies close.
Yeah, keep your enemies close.
Excited to be playing our first tournament here at the Blast Premier, and it looks awesome, to be honest. Everything looks great. Looking forward to it the most would just be to get back into a tournament mode. Definitely love coming out to play on a LAN setting and just feeling the adrenaline run and get
100 Thieves, yeah. They're all good on their roles, and they are, like, depend how they play as a team. Like, they're not individually that good, all of them, but as a team they're really good.
I think G2 is a pretty good matchup for us. We're obviously not sure how their boot camp's been going or how their practice after the player break's been going, but we're confident coming into it.
Well, every game's gonna be tough anyway. Thieves is one of the hardest team to play against. I think they are with structure, they play really well together.
I'm expecting them to come out pretty strong. I think they're quite an underrated team. I think they have a lot of talent, so I'm definitely looking forward to the matchup and giving our best.
If I can't just wait tomorrow and to play against 100 Thieves, to play on this stage, everything is perfect, and I can say I think we'll win 2-1.
A bold 2-0 for us.
2-0 to us. Pretty confident.
If we play good, it's gonna be 2-0.
Kenny saying a little prayer. We'll see if they will need it. 100 Thieves, very, very confident.
Shame on both those guys for stealing my notes from earlier on. That was material I was saving for later in the show.
Oh, you love to see it, though. At least they're going all in. They're going ham.
How much would League fine them for that? Would that be quite a lot?
You know what? We'll get back to you at some other time. Let's move on to the map veto.
Exactly.
All right. With that, though, I think we're like properly prepared for the matchup and for the firepower. So talk to me about this map veto. Where is this going?
Well, the fact that G2 is going to pick first is the most sexy part of it, because if they really have reformulated everything, there was a big layoff since I saw 100 Thieves play. I'd love to see like a bold Vertigo pick here. Like, this would be a great way to start the series.
Yeah, just to know, 100 Thieves are only a 6-map pool team, overpasses their permaban, so G2 getting to go first, that means they're forcing 100 Thieves into that ban, and them getting rid of Inferno, it's one of their weaker maps as well. So that's worked out perfectly for G2 in the opening phase here. The pick of Dust 2 makes sense. It's a map that they like to go to. Definitely a playground for Kenny with the AWP, but also Hunter with the AK. Once he can pick that up on that CT side, he can lock down anywhere across the map. Now I'm curious to see what 100 Thieves have been working on. Do they just go with Mirage? You know, are they just happy to keep doing what they did last year? Are they going to keep going back to their home ground of that map? We're still, okay, look.
That's not one we expected, Chad.
I don't hate it. I know it's a map that they poured a lot of time into, but this is also a map that I think that the G2 side, they haven't looked terrible.
No. It's always been in the back pocket a little bit.
Yeah, so this one here, they must have noted something that they can potentially exploit on a map like this, or maybe Kassad's worked out an approach that they've been working very well in practice. Mirage to go out now, so this veto is going fantastically well for G2 here. You have to be happy with this one. If we end up with even like a train as the third, it's almost...
They don't necessarily hit it, man. So it looks like it is anyway. Yeah, I would actually say if you're G2, adding in the information deficit, like no one really knows for the opponent how good they are, so it's always tough. You can't really punish into that, and they were never going to anyway if they picked Dust 2. It's all going to still ride on Dust 2.
Sure.
Got to have a great performance here, but that's actually the reason why I feel like not everyone's written off G2 as harshly as I have. When they play Dust 2, they can look like one of the best teams in the world. They can take anyone on that map.
Yeah, we know that most of us all predicted 100 Thieves to win here quite comfortably. They themselves think it as well. How much has G2 thrown a wrench in that with that Dust 2 pick?
I feel like they've won the veto at least in the first phase right here. They're going to be very comfortable on these first two maps. Dust 2 is a map where Kenny and Hunter, the stars, can take over and just get things absolutely kicked off for this G2 team, and then they can carry that momentum through to Vertigo. Whereas the fundamental, that base, it's not as easy to control things if you're 100 Thieves, right? It's harder on a map like Dust 2. Things can spiral. It's very momentum based. If they're just doing fast long strats, if they're peppering B all the time, that's where 100 Thieves, it doesn't matter how good your fundamentals are. You need to individually be able to lock down those bomb sites.
Yeah, let's do exactly that. Again, one step closer, Mohan, to getting week 3 underway.
Yeah.
And this group excites me. I don't know where it's going to end up whatsoever. We thought we had write-offs last week, and I don't think that's the case here at all.
We're going to play just like they used to. So I can see how an upset could be brewing, but at the same time, you got to think 100 Thieves have it based on what we've seen recently. But here we are, folks.
Just maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let's hop into the first map of 100 Thieves and G2. And we've got pistols early, sitting back and relaxing. Like you said, these teams could have been on vacation, but the time to play is now. I wonder how long it takes to shake off any nerves, any LAN rust. We saw that play such an impact in our second group last weekend. But already, it seems as though 100 Thieves are not going to overface. They're going to sit back on the deepest parts of this A site and just allow G2 to take over long.
Yeah, we saw the 3 players in B tunnels making presence, and Jacob here spotting it long. It's a fine setup here for the CTs. They have a lot of mid control, so their fast rotates over. 2 players inside the B site will be a little bit later, but now the cross smokes will come out, and it'll be on Jacob to try to get some damage in and leave if he can.
There it is, double smoke, making sure they leave no gap for 100 Thieves to try and exploit, but that is a long-range shot from Jacob. Now he's going to start feeling more pressure. These Ts have moved forward. They've crossed over towards the actual ramp, and they're starting to bring it back. 1 kill out from Nexa. Still, the USPs have prevailed as JKS falls off his boost. And we sit 4v3. Bomb planted. Nexa and Amanek with a killer crossfire, but it's that cat play that almost got the job done. A 1v1, but a 4K for Nexa.
Just dirty. The rotates were so fast from 100 Thieves. You love that that mid setup that they had, allowed them to get to boost up before the cross had even occurred. That's so nice. A lot of the times when we see these long strats from teams, the CTs are not even close to being prepared, but then you have it turned around when G2 are able to maximize their efforts in that that crossfire. That's a nice way to start off this map for G2. And it's their LAN debut of this year.
They're stoking the flames of the fire early. I feel like we've been given such a treat with the energy that some of these teams have kind of sat down with. You've got to think, they've got pent-up Counter-Strike aggression. For months, they've been at home waiting to sit back at LAN. And you can see it. One pistol round, one 4K. Next is ready to fire off.
And it's been a lot of time, and they haven't done that much media about content with you yesterday. You talked to G2. Did you learn anything interesting?
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of mirrors what Nex has been talking about with the little bit of new structure they've been adding, really wanting to kind of unleash Kenny S, wanting to put him in a position, and Kenny himself even said, like, he feels great. He just wants to start. He wants a chance to take some scalps. And 100 Thieves, well, he's staring at them early.
Yeah, we compared him to Gratisfaction early on as the Oppers, naturally. And his recent performances slightly outclassed Gratisfaction, but in terms of per their teams, on 100 Thieves, Gratisfaction has had the biggest bounce back in stats in recent form compared to any of his teammates. He's been playing extraordinarily well.
Slightly missed smoke there. That one's supposed to bounce out just a little bit more, but it actually got caught on the border of the archway. So they'll have to wait that one out. Clearly G2 looking to just split this B site at the 30-second mark, but a deke from JKS and a follow-up kill makes things complicated. Doesn't put G2 out of the round.
But look at this, the bomb's actually going all the way back to mid. Somebody's at top, man, that's Jacob, and he can't get the kill. Kenny, what a trade. From the lower, second man out, had to react.
But here comes Azza. He's got that scout and a dodge shot. Here's a second chance, and he's not going to land that one either. So now it's the creep and crawl, and it all falls onto just the bomb carrier. He doesn't realize Aminex moved over, so the plant goes down. Oh, what? Liaz comes in from behind and just robbed away the round.
That's it. No plant goes down. Nex is left alone as the last man on the pistol as well. Can't win the round, and now 100 Thieves pull it back. That's crazy. I was surprised that G2 decided to rock it back to mid in the first place. But then even more surprised when they got the kill on Jacob, who was waiting for them. This is a fantastic start, obviously, to get those two openings. But there was still an opportunity to go for the B split. They had the mid to B smoke. They knew mid was cleared out.
Yeah.
They could have tried to still squeeze it and maybe would have had a better shot. And it looked like Azur was a bit shaky. The scout shot's missing at first.
Right.
But then picking up that scout shot on Kenny S was the most important one, and it was critical that he hit that.
And despite Azur being in that big playmaker position, our eyes drawn to him. I never saw Liaz's flank coming. Rough stuff. But that's what happens. You know, you boil it down to a 35-second execute through mid onto the B site, and you had that decision. They chose to rock it back to the A site despite there being a chance at being caught in mid, despite the chance at Azza locking down the car. So it came back to bite them, but here they go. Barking back at the A site early. They overwhelmed the long player. It's a weapons disadvantage for G2, and they play close to these CTs. Gratisfaction scout shot, good for the trade.
Good kill.
Locks down Catwalk. All four members of G2 still on long.
It's a great kill. You know, like they lose that information, but getting the kill so much more important. Long control alone can win the round. A lot to do here for Gratisfaction.
Again, 100 Thieves not going to force the issue, not going to flash themselves into an extended peek. They're just going to look to lock down the line. And it's 2 kills back and forth. Leaves Liaz to clutch. 41 health. Ooh, and he almost sprays down both. It's going to be 12 health to make the difference here in round 3.
Nearly pulls that back, but once again, one of the players up on Cat that would defend against the long take, gets killed by a P250. The long control is great. Another eco. We haven't actually seen that happen very often in recent memory. A round 1. The pistol, the eco, and then the eco back. That's pretty good stuff. The buyout is going to come potentially out of spite. Don't know what the return on investment is for them, because they're going up against a really good buy. Though there are 2 back 10s, so maybe there's a chance that we see even more chaos back and forth.
You know, we're kind of chalking it up, saying that this map really does boil down to the individuals, who's going to be sitting down in the new year and who pops off first and foremost.
I actually love to see how hard G2 are working to get into these splits with the amount of nades they have. Even on that forced buy, they're really taking their time, and they're adapting. They're not just committing to the first thing that they want to, that they think they're going to go to out of spawn. Initial Molotov to clear out the close mid doors. No one's here, so 100 Thieves lack a lot of information. They're very strong at B, but you like to see a stack like this on a round where you don't have much money to spend.
Yeah, again, more evidence of what you're just talking about, going through those proper motions. nading out every cubby, every corner.
You wonder if anyone even rotates to A if the A hold isn't here, or if a free kill comes right away. Oh, hat spotted.
Just saw the tip, didn't get it, and now they're going to shift themselves into mid. Azza at bat with a scout. We saw JKS do heavy damage from this, and ooh, he gets the first one. Follow-up damage. Jax, 2 Mac 10 kills. Liaz, he's got everything to do, but luckily there's still a little bit of smoke to play, so he's caused a distraction. But Kenny S locks down middle. He too gets damaged, and it leaves Gratisfaction 1v3. Another one of these rounds that has such crucial moments that look like they could go either way, but finally G2 are going to do it. They're going to pick up consecutive rounds.
As hard as 100 Thieves worked for that, they only got a couple of kills. It's just nice they got some damage in, just helped keep the economy at bay for G2, but you got to appreciate G2's execute on B and the commitment to the site. This last round that they did it, and they lost a kill or two at mid, they decided to rocket back to A, and things got even more hairy. I think it makes sense that they commit to their B exec. It's working out quite well. And of it. Now we're going to take a look at the Betway odds. They fly in. G2 in a little bit of a lead here, just as it kind of fairly represents the scoreline that we're seeing. Still early days in this match, and anything can happen.
Of course.
We've got the NOA boost at mid. Doesn't work for anything. Gives Hunter a lot of money. One of the only players here with an SMG this round. Would like to kill as many pistols as possible. He'll go ahead and get 3, I believe.
Done and dusted. Didn't take them very much utility either. 100 Thieves having so little to work with, just basically give it all away. But,
if I'm 100 Thieves in this moment, I'm not working too hard. I'm not changing too much. I think you lost these rounds quite close. So go ahead and try one of your setups again. The only thing I'd be really worried about is the long control. That we know G2 like. So when they get out there with 4, they've been very successful at actually committing to the site, getting the bomb down, winning the round.
Here we have it back, full-fledged gun round. Man, I was so hyped to watch this Kenny S versus Gratisfaction op fight, but we haven't had a single sniper take the server yet other than the scouts. 5 rounds deep. The economy doesn't afford it for 100 Thieves.
Low grenades here for the CTs. I'm talking no incendiaries, which can make the difference here if we're trying to bleed down the clock.
He's going to be ready for a pop flash, but it looks like Azza holds off for the moment. Smoke first. Now he's going to turn. Good thing he did, seeing as Hunter had tried to puncture through it. 5v4. This is a good place for 100 Thieves to be.
One of the win conditions here with low grenades, you got to get the kills, get them early, ease up on those rotations. Azza left side of mid, they've got a pretty standard setup. Everybody's kind of jiggling between 2 angles because G2 have done a great job of applying pressure at all these different choke points, so they're on their toes.
They've gotten back what they wanted in the first place. Eyes up here on Catwalk. They've convinced the 100 Thieves to fall back off of it just a bit, but here comes Azza. Reeling in from CT spawn. He's going to hear that. Yeah. Jax just jumped downwards, and it's 100 Thieves to win the duel. So 5 versus 3. Finally a bit of a response back for G2, but it's going to be the B site pinch, and Liaz sees it coming. He peeks out, he extends, and there they go. Corralled through mid and just clamped down upon by 100 Thieves.
All protocols there. We saw Jacob go through that long door again. He was so good on that flank last time. Didn't get him a kill last time, but that doesn't mean it was the wrong play. No one was there holding for the push. So for him to come around top mid, that just goes to show that he knows exactly what's coming his way. They have a good read on the setup, so no surprise that 100 Thieves eventually pull one out. Good positioning from Azza as well. In the smoke, waiting for that Freiburg drop into CT spawn. He was in a spot where if somebody had dropped through the smoke and he's closer to mid doors, maybe he doesn't hear it, and he could get flanked, but he's kind of in that position just in case it's some kind of cat play towards A. But it's obviously very versatile, as he could also stop the mid to B. Another stringent default here for G2. A little bit of a focus on cat early, as we're used to seeing.
I've liked the decisiveness of these long A door pushes. It's been a couple of rounds. We've seen 100 Thieves throw a player out there. Jacob catching them in mid.
I actually think that's something so nice because we saw, linchpin of the round there. Jacob, if he gets a flank off, he can win the round for them. If they kill him early, they have a great chance of winning with long control alone.
Yeah. So we'll have to keep eyes on him. He's got a lot of work to do so far. A little bit of lull in the action here as we exchange grenades up cat.
We do a quick nade count. Look at the CTs are working with a single Molotov and a single flash on JKS.
So it'll be guns out.
That means G2 are doing a great job of baiting the utility out in their favor. They've got tons of nades to work with, lots of damage grenades as well.
Starting to cheat players over towards this A site though. Jacob, sweet angle off of blue box. Can't manage a second frag, but he does do huge amounts of damage. Here's Hunter playing off of the gap in the smoke. Also lit down by these defenders that are just gonna hunker on ramp side by side. Gratisfaction not able to get those headshots, so it gives Nexa a chance to bring it back, and he gets 2 kills as Hunter adds 1 to the tally and pushes Justin Savage.
I can't believe these trades right now. Justin, 1v2.
He's getting back around ramp. He needs clean kills, and he takes down Kenny. Follows up onto Hunter. Wow. 3 frags from him as he comes back up of spawn.
I feel great about this for 100 Thieves because in this round, you had the long setup where Jacob plays a new spot, gets 1 kill, does a lot of damage to the second player, and then his 2 teammates are perfectly set up on the A ramp. It can get a bit claustrophobic on that ramp when you're waiting for the cat players and you see a Molotov come your way, but they do a good job of bouncing off each other. They get the long kill down first, and then they double peek for the cat trades. It's actually Nexa who brings out these miraculous AK frags from that position where he's crossing onto the ramp. Very unfavorable situation, scary situation for him to come out around the ramp. And that was all of our faces at that moment, I think. That's good.
The embodiment of disappointment.
That was my mind's eye right there.
I like that.
3 to 4. I don't really know who has an edge in this half. I actually think they're both playing really well. I feel like 100 Thieves, it feels like they could have very easily won most of these rounds, even though G2 have been doing a good job working the map. So
and I think that's what's kind of given them these 4 rounds already, is working that map, not being too easy to read. I think that obviously Dust 2 expected. 100 Thieves did a really good job, I'd say, even making that honeypot trap in middle. You saw, like, once G2 boiled it down to 20 seconds, didn't have anywhere to go. Everybody for 100 Thieves seemed to know exactly what they should be doing, but here we have it, a little clash down long A. The numbers game from G2 is what's going to enable them to bully these bodies back. CT's having to retreat as quickly as they can, and they look to posture up, but that is helpful. An op pick from Gratisfaction down mid.
Yeah, you can see he's trying to enter the battle as late as possible, and Gratisfaction catches them in the middle of their default. Long control is great, and it's been good for them, but with numbers up for 100 Thieves, you think their odds are also. Now, we're going to see how the response will come through. It looks like 100 Thieves are already making a move. Yep. They know they've got the mid player down. This is a lot of pressure off of Liaz when he's pushing through the tunnels. Overstacked to A, you just wonder, are G2's days numbered? Another
moment of proactive play. If it's not long door flanks to top mid, it's tunnel pushes from Liaz. So there's no way 100 Thieves are going to be caught by surprise with this. It's just the walk up from G2. And I love that nobody's giving Kenny S an angle to work with. If anything, 100 Thieves may be content to let them get their plant. We'll have to see. Smokes fade, fire, hits the feet of the ramp. That's gonna do tons of damage versus Nexa, so no surprise he loses the duel. And somebody's gonna have to cross, but here comes Liaz on that flank, pushing Jax's attention into 2 separate directions. He knows it's gonna be tough to get across. So to no one's surprise, he dies.
It was a symptom of the circumstances because G2 had too many win conditions to have to check all the boxes. There was a flank there from Liaz. There was the players on the A site. There's the fact that they knew they were coming from long. There's the fact that they killed the mid guy as well. So there were so many things that were working against them. And we see how good G2 are, in spite of all of that, at bringing it close with long control. So a scary thing for 100 Thieves, but there's also an adaptation from them early on in the round where they helped Jacob out with 2 other people to take control of it in the beginning, get a kill, get some information, and that helps make things easier as the round progresses. Now we're just back on pistols as 100 Thieves tie up at 4 to 4.
Yep, looking to take control of map 1 here. Ooh, dangerous bit of timing in the tunnels. And there it is. Azza picking up a kill over the shoulder. He was the bottom of the totem pole. He was the bottom of the totem
pole, yeah.
See?
But now he's on the top and everybody on the scrotum.
Yep. Here's Nexa. Creeping and crawling up mid. Looking to join his team. Consistently working the tunnels to box jump. We haven't had anybody from 100 Thieves really trying to screw with them at the bottom of middle. If anything, it's been this cat aggression that's been a problem. So the pistols begin to line up, and they'll at least take 2 kills. Kenny S. He saw an AWP, and he was going to do anything he had to get his hands on it.
You know how it is with Kenny. He doesn't have to see you to kill you.
Blasts him through the wall, but now M4 bullets starting to go over the shoulder. He knows he's pinned, and down he goes. That's 100 Thieves taking the lead. If it's even, just by one.
Yeah. And working hard for these rounds is great, just because they've got majority deaths there. They're putting them on their toes for these pistol rounds as well. And yeah, it's great. He can just see right over top of that box perfectly. So what am I supposed to do about that, bro? That's what he said. 5-4. We figured a lead again. We got the pistol, obviously, to 100 Thieves names, but they brought it back since as G2 quickly stole the momentum back. Timeout here called by the CTs as they talk things over. That's actually kind of curious because they're the ones who are about to be on fire with the streak that they put up. Also, they're on CT side, so you'd think it's not going to be that difficult to try to discuss what options you should partake in. This round, I don't know. Are they just trying to figure out if they want to go for early long control? That's usually all you have to figure out on the CT side. Is like, does our setup involve 3-man long, or are we going to split up in the 2-on-2?
Well, here we have it, back into the action. 100 Thieves just looking to keep things fresh. Looking to keep G2 on their toes. Offered over. It's only going to be Kenny S wielding the big cannon, but ooh, nice dink. Great damage, but neither frag. That's a robbery.
Yeah, would you take that? You know,
I'd be pissed.
Hunter's super low.
Yeah.
Jack's taking a lot of damage. That's not so bad. I feel like it's very close.
Yeah, and the thing is that every time we've seen 100 Thieves players do this, get that amount of damage early, somebody else will pick it up. We praise the individuals all across the board here for the Aussies, but
this is something they probably won't expect. A double cat setup to follow that cat push. It might be just what they need. Also, 2 players are low that are coming at them.
Exactly. I mean, if you just isolate this moment, huge advantage for 100 Thieves. Look at the flashbang, misses the mark slightly. They look away from it, dodge bullets, and now there's another player tagged down to such minimal health. A stiff breeze blows through those 3. Nexa and Hunter. That's all that's left, and not for long. Again, aggression out of Azza. But what comes next?
And when that much information is gained, it's just a relay to Azure to be like, okay, well, you can take some liberty here at mid because we know that we've got a bunch of cat presence. It's really loud on cat right now. You'd probably be able to walk through the doors, no problem. Next up, 1-on-3 situation. Can't write him off, obviously. Bomb is here on the railing. We'll try to jump up and get it. 2 players watching it like hawks, and actually a really good smoke to deny them from jumping up.
He's just gonna jump and reach. No. Tries his damnedest. You know he is pinned in, both those last 2 players. They realize from the 1 versus 4 to the 1 versus 2, let's clean it up.
Yeah.
Minimize their losses and lock down another round. So 2 rounds of a lead here for the 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and once again, I would like to look at that, but here that push from Jacob pays off in dividends, makes it so much easier to get the trades. And then as we see, look Azur's in their side of the map, right? And
that's what it's been, this mid-round aggression from 100 Thieves, who are now on fire. They have not shied away from a chance to go on the offense, despite starting CT.
We haven't seen a ton of B plays through the tunnels. It's been a lot of splits. Sometimes you don't need to have too many people come out mid, just throwing the smoke, having a flash, sending 1 person out to catch rotates is good enough. See if G2 tries something with more of a mid focus here again. Initial smokes go out. These are kind of the smoke to help them clear. Azure will actually use this as a sign that it's his call to action. 2 players in B, they don't have to worry about the window now.
Yep, they're
actually a good call by him.
Entirely on tunnels. He's going to get this audio cue. Tries to play a bit of spam damage. Ooh, JKS caught jumping. That's awkward. Liaz is going to have a chance, but he calls for that rotate. Azza so hot on his heels as he runs into the site and deals with what could have been a problem.
I think Liaz plays that quite nicely. You know, he stays alive. He actually doesn't do a ton of damage, but if he dies too quickly, all the attention's on the door. Azure can't even work.
Fully.
So, yeah, good on Azure, first of all, for committing to crossing the mid doors, getting in that smoke, helping his teammates out on focusing on tunnels, and then also making his way up to the door right away as well.
Right, more and not getting too hung up on the fact that he could have found Kenny S in mid. There was a chance for him to give chase to that frag, even if he just tries to blow him down through the doorway, but he let all of that slide. He prioritized his teammates, and we always give a tip of the hat to that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's definitely true. It's the hardest position, I'd say, on CT side to play well. just because that mid to B smoke is always trying to separate you from your friends and trick you into rotating to the wrong site. And he's done such a fantastic job of knowing exactly where they're going to commit. And that's something that he can't rely on his teammates for info on. Once T's have mid control, you're limited on what you can see. You've just got to go off of your instinct, or if you believe it's going to be a fake or not, and he's always in the right place at the right time. 7-4 here, and another full buyout. We're going to have potential for a Kenny-esque Gratisfaction op duel. I think there's a lot of other maps you typically won't see the ops go head-to-head on Dust 2. It's probably a little bit more regular.
Yeah, which is why it's still a treat. Let's take a moment to praise Nexa as well. 14-7.
Oh, this is interesting. So we haven't seen a lot of like straight-up B plays from G2 out of tunnels, right? JKS is opping. I wonder how they're going to play this, if they're going to do 3-2 Gratisfaction op to long, or if they're going to go for cat again. He's jumped up on the site. There's 4 on A. Yeah, JKS playing B alone.
Could be a daunting task.
You gotta like that though, right? Like they haven't done tunnels in the first 20 seconds or so in a long time. No reason to believe they'd just try it now.
Maybe looks to enact a bit of revenge. We did catch him. Oh,
that's good. That's really good. I like that.
Yeah, more of that. Let's see if they have any follow-up damage. CTs, any more nades? Yeah, there's frags in the mix.
This really kills your mood, right? You can get headshot by an M4 now and just die first bullet.
I mean, we saw the impact of early damage on that round where Jacob pushes cat.
We'll see if that happens again. And once again, Jacob has help.
Yep. This time it's Azur tucked into the side of the doorway. A Molotov hits the ground. I mean, right from the gate, G2 have been waiting at the starting line, but it's false start after false start, as they've never been given a chance to move out until now, the 50-second mark. Jacob's going to come back over, and Azur's still tucked in. So if he could serve as a distraction, my God, this could be a mess, but he's turned. Good flashbang coming out of the CT side. Ooh, Amanek, he's going to get himself another kill, but a sliver of a shot from Gratisfaction's all he needed. Man advantage still up for G2. They've got a very real chance at taking the A site as they catch Liaz sleeping from CT spawn. And JKS, he's been at B on his own. The lonely Valentine's Day tale.
Yeah, and Valentine's Day red.
And now he has no chance because his whole team's dead.
Man, 100 Thieves were one step ahead that entire time. The nade, the molly that landed as soon as they were going to execute. Hunter blew his position on Cat because all his teammates are over at long. And when they said they were going to execute, he ran through the molly, or he ran up to fight A site and then had to fall back. There's a number of times there 100 Thieves had all the tips. They had the right stack. They started at 4 on A. They had an op to work with. They had help for Jacob on long. And so you think they're definitely going to do it, but there's just something about the way that G2 are taking long. They're so potent at it. They're really good at finding those trades. Neutralized Azur completely, who has also been a rotation god, helping out his team by flashing him, and he wasn't even blind when he turned back. They just got him to turn at the exact moment that they peaked. So they've got like the spacing on their executes down to a science, it seems. Woo. And then further, we've got two opportunities to trade here, and they get a kill apiece. But that's not enough. That's not enough.
Very real chance for him to even pick up a third there, but Kenny bests him. So here we are back in it with round 13, full-fledged buys on both sides. The double op still for 100 Thieves. Liaz, he's going to feel the pressure here with that utility. He does really good damage onto Hunter, in fact. And this has created a little bit of space for them to play out mid. Azur's not expecting them to be there so early. It's true, we haven't seen G2 go through those doors that fast, but the door swings both ways. Jacob is starting to lurk out from long, quickly executes Nexa, but Kenny's there to plug the hole and take it back 4v3.
Did you see that? He tried to pre-fire Kenny and spawn. There was no one there at all. He was trying to pre-fire the op with his M4, and Kenny had already pushed through suicide. Now it's going to be JKS to try to catch someone jumping up, but it doesn't seem like Hunter's going to make that mistake. He's sitting patiently, as a Hunter should, trained on this angle, and his two teammates probably have their attention on long. If I'm G2, I'm thinking, let's just trick these fools and go long again, right? It's working so well for us.
Could be round in the bag. Again, there's still a chance for G2 to finish this half with a lead, if it's only one. Ooh, gonna dodge some shots. Come back.
He sticks around, the audacity.
Damn, there goes Amanek, but Jax, he's picked up a crisp headshot. You have to wonder, JKS giving them a bit of an opening, but here they go, corralled towards the A site. They may just commit, and that's going to play right into the hand of Liaz. He could give chase to this. Look at them try and dodge. 20 seconds. He knows he can cut them off. Dodges the flash.
The jump.
Oh! and he's gotten the bomb down. 18 seconds remain. Kenny, he has everything to do now. He's desperate to get to that bomb site, and he will be given the chance to. Just slightly.
You know, Kenny, he might try to end this round early. Yeah, he's going up through the window.
He just has to
Bomb's
hide.
not planted just yet. Liaz just wants to stay alive, and Kenny will commit. Bomb goes down in time. He's got the op.
All he needs, that one shot. Kenny, he goes high.
Up top.
Down he goes. G2 taking back around and denying what would have been an awesome 1v3.
That was so nice from Kenny. It was really, really smartly played from Liaz as well, committing to the information, realizing they have almost no chance but to go back to B or just fight him straight up. He got that little bit of info as they were turned, running off of Cat, and thought, this is my timeout. Man, look, Kenny. He obviously, he misses that shot, he's dead.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a chance that he misses that shot.
I love that you called that Kenny might just go for it. He doubled back through window, took a chance, and really left that down to the wire. Oh, and what a gift this is. G2 roll out of bed to an open B bomb site. I mean, sure, it is just USPs. We'd always favor them to take this and tie at 7, but it feels real good when you get that bomb down with 0 casualties on top.
Also, just like to point out, you know, Liaz making the jump in mid to the box. If he doesn't do that when he, I mean, it is an easy jump fundamentally, but to do it, like, to make sure that he lands that means the difference between him getting close to winning that round in the 1v1 and not. If he doesn't land it in the smoke, and that's all just to say that having good movement doesn't mean hitting technically difficult jumps. It's just being able to get to point A to point B with the least amount of friction possible, being incredibly efficient at all times. That's what defines good movement in this game.
That's such a frag hunter highlight right there. If we can, I mean, you've got Nexa, taps 2 heads at the top of mid. The rest of his team realize it's USPs. And then you have 4 guys on the exact same angle, literally body blocking him for the shot. Launders, they're feeling good now because they have closed the gap. They've tied this up at 7 rounds apiece, and they could even nab an 8th. There's a buyback for 100 Thieves. It's not all the utility in the world. It no longer features their double op. Hell, it doesn't even have 1. But they've done more with less.
Aggro Cat again. Kenny still buying guns, but he can't help out with any type of flash. Instead, they'll just try to attack this head on with the SG. But the aggro cat presence has now receded to just around the corner. It's a little bit dangerous here for 100 Thieves, I'd say, this early on, considering the nades of G2, that they could take a lot of damage sitting in this setup right out of the gate. As they're getting some good information early, just making sure they're not clearing anything out. Here they come. Yeah, Molotov comes in. There's not much they can do to react. I don't know. Very aggressive positioning, but I'm still liking G2's odds at this moment.
As that smoke fades, Gratisfaction's going to be in a tough spot. Timing could be his. Denied. He does get the info. There's a lot of bodies starting to pile up on this catwalk, and they're going to go off of this. G2 able to find themselves, a double entry, but nicely done. JKS, he's gunning for a 3rd. The flank is hot from Azur, and he goes off with a flash. He's denied by Amanek, who started this kill count. Here comes Liaz up from CT spawn. An ambitious jump. 25 seconds, and Nexa doesn't have to rush the plant. Liaz knows this.
Second chance of the 1v1. Nexa's making this a long round. He's going to go for the plant now. It's actually a fake to get some more information, but Liaz is 1 step ahead.
He's just going to play the post plant. He is going to play the retake, and that's now the bomb down. Double flash along with that smoke for the T. Liaz is just honing in for the headshot. It's really going to come down to who makes the move. You've got to be on point, and Nexa's in a position where he is so committed, but he tries to get ambitious and gets shut down.
How does he do that?
100 Thieves going to take away the 8th round of the half. They will finish this first one in the lead. Despite it being slight, it is theirs for the taking, Launders. Liaz in the clutch.
As soon as he put his gun back in his hands, it was an instant 1-bullet headshot and revenge for Liaz.
Hot damn. Ladies and gents, we'll be back with the second half of map 1 in just a bit.
Side. Nice.
Nice. One shot.
Short one.
Boosted one.
I don't see him. I tried to plant single box.
Nice.
One more city. Short down.
Let's go!
I love that.
Bit of a pop off there from Nexa. That was his pistol round win, a 4K for him.
Yeah.
But in the end, we are now sitting with a 1-round advantage for G2 over 100 Thieves.
I mean, virtually nothing, right, in Dust 2, in Dust 2 language. So we'll see what the second half has to show.
They are also winning the opening duels 9-6 to the favor of G2. They've also won 3 of the 5 clutches. So we are nearly split down the middle. And everything tells us that. The stats, the score, the facts.
Yeah, and both teams playing well. That's pretty much all you've got to remember, folks. Now we're going to get into the second half and potentially see who can take a lead. As was brought up on the desk, you know, this is a veto in favor of G2 potentially, or maybe very clearly for some. The interesting thing, though, is I think we had the manager, 100 Thieves manager backstage.
Gomez.
He was Gomez, yeah. He knew, he had a feeling that this was going to be the veto.
Yep.
So that might be a feather in the cap of 100 Thieves.
Let's find out. We've got that pressure down towards the A site. Kenny's trying to stomp out the smoke. And he's flirting with the idea of peeking around this. If he mistimes it, well, there could be the entirety of 100 Thieves ready for him. But they'll cool off. They'll allow for the possibility of a wrap back to B to sink into the minds of G2. Here comes a follow-up, 2 more smokes, and Jacob gets Kenny S. He was doing the same thing as he did on the 1 smoke, but this time he dies. Nexa, off of the flash, he comes upwards and can only take down 1 player. So 100 Thieves should be able to get themselves into this bomb site. And G2, they're going to take this time to clear the flank, make sure there's nobody coming up mid, make sure they can focus fully on the bomb site, on moving forward. But in a 4 versus 2, it's going to get tough. An attempt at the flick from these pistols, and it's not going well as Liaz looks down from above, swoops in, and drops Hunter. Only Amanek left, and there are way too many T's to take. That's 100 Thieves with a second pistol.
T's pull off the pistol twice in this match with pretty much the exact same strategy. Difference in the setup here for 100 Thieves. They get up to the A site. They're a bit spread thin. They use Nexa as a mercenary with a flash over the ramp to go and peek by himself to see what kind of damage he did. Whereas what we saw from 100 Thieves on that first pistol round was a spot down long, a much safer setup, Azur with a boost behind the smoke on the long cross, and then playing a lot more together to try to defend. And I think they ended up both losing, right, from that perspective, but because 100 Thieves, I think, had a more calculated approach. So G2 now, moving into this round, will have the initial buyback with the scout involved here for Nexa.
And the start of the first half was tipsy-turvy. Back and forth rounds for the opening 3. You must always believe in the force buy. But here we have it, 100 Thieves. They have shifted the odds back into their favor. There was a time where G2 had it on their side of the scale, but here we have it. Amanek above, looking to drop 2 bodies, but Jacob bests him cleanly. And because of that, B site has been taken, and G2 Esports, more likely than not, they're going to try to move the little that they have into the next round. Would have been a save regardless, so everybody's going to try to walk away a winner.
I'd love to see what their D2 looks like on T side, to see what some of their strategies are going to be coming up. Every reason in the world for a G2 to hang back, not take too many fights, use all these guns for next round, not invest one more time and hope that they run into the stack. It's definitely the prevalent way to play the eco rounds, and for good reason. You win, you can have a high chance to win if they come to you, and a good chance on the next round if they don't. Enter has a good opportunity in the trade. JKS wants a fight, and JKS will lose a fight. The Mac 10 can't be recovered, but what's a Mac 10 to a CZ anyway?
Oy.
Oh, okay.
Quick little head pop. See you later, Gratisfaction. But at the end of the day, 100 Thieves happy. They've got those 2 AK-47s, and they've grabbed themselves double digits. 3 rounds the advantage as we move into the next.
Had a question about why Nexa was the one scouting, but that question was answered.
Yeah, very quickly, huh?
Yeah, quickly.
Hey, man, I feel like at this point he can about do whatever he wants.
That's
He's
true.
18-10, and there was a fair bit of that first half that he was the only reason they were in it.
Uh-huh.
So he has come into the new year ready to roll. As we said, whatever was saved moved into the next one. Got a little movement towards long.
Whoa. Yeah, Azur's just living in all of G2's heads rent-free right now with long control. He's fallen off already. They're still watching it like hawks, just praying that it's going to actually be a long take, but it's not. The whole time, it's just a fake. Cost them a few $100 to run it. Now they can go into B if they'd want to. It's only going to be Amanek left alone here. Left side fence with the USP and Liaz with vision, with his mind's eye, dedicated to stopping. Oh, so close to getting a kill. Can actually ice him out completely.
Yeah, when the USP is just not enough. Had backs turned. I feel like the unfortunate move with that as well is like if this is a full-blown gun round, he just smothers out 3 of these Ts. Whereas now from here on out, they're going to check that. Jumped his gun. Bomb planted at the B site yet again. G2 have to scurry away.
Yeah, this one's a little crummier because, you know, you want to get your kills here. So we can say we can give a lot of points here to 100 Thieves. They've done great on their anti-eco so far. Very minimal losses. They've had very little resistance on the sites they've picked. They got the bomb down on all 3 rounds, and they forced G2 into saving because that's what they're incentivized to do. From spawn, though, long distance with the Deagle. Kenny S looks to be a menace, and he can get at least a kill.
Could work a bit more. That bomb's about to pop.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Jax.
Yeah, we'll definitely take those trades. Jax wants to try to grab a gun if he can.
And we have it.
And the storyline changes a little bit. Those are actually really important kills, you know, and they cost G2 a lot less than they cost 100 Thieves. We're seeing AKs go down here in the exit into the playground. So good round here from Jax and Co.
Look at that shrapnel fly. G2 having gone for the back-to-back saves immediately into the double op setup. We saw this from 100 Thieves at a point in their defense, but it's G2 straight out the gates with it.
Can be a little risky unless you know what to expect from your opponents. Interesting that they're going to do the double ops of the 3B Hunter moving right into fence, anticipatory of some kind of fast exec towards the site. And look at the consolidation of the T's here at mid and the tunnel choke point. It looks like they might get what they're looking for.
Has been consistent B hits since the start of this second T side.
Interesting, though. They're going to be able to clear out mid for free. This is going to make the CTs a little bit nervous. They might try to push a choke point.
And they could very well be walking into the lineup of the offense. Amanex looking to get that skewered shot through more than just one, but he drops Liaz first and foremost. He's going to get pinned into the corner, and Amanek here on mid, looking for a second. Ooh, over top of the scope goes JKS. He is just dodging bullets and firing back with headshots so crisp. The B site crumbles, and it looked like they had that from the start.
You obviously can't drop that trade. You'd think that they'd still win, so it's not that terrible, but yeah, that's really rough.
Damn, that's some hardcore parkour.
Yeah, just over the rainbow. The retake isn't even on. This is what's the risky part, obviously. Is like no matter what happens, Counter-Strike, you could have the perfect strategy. You know, you could have the perfect breakfast with exercise and come into the match all prepared, and you could still get hit in a way that makes no sense, right? You could like have a great setup, 3B there waiting for the exec to come. That the ops, the actual extra op in the site as well to stop the attack and still lose the round, and it's just so expensive. You can kind of guarantee with the correct strategy and everything else, 70% success, but you know, not 100% success, no matter what. That's the nature of the game. So it's a bit of a risk, and they won't be able to rebuy into that second op. Luckily, they still have one to retain.
Look at this guy.
This is crazy, and it is JKS to also get the kill. We would think the trade's coming out no matter what, though.
Right.
So
you know, normally flailing bodies are just distractions, but this one's got a bit of a bite back.
That's true.
So 5 rounds the advantage, and more importantly, 5 rounds in a row. We have the 100 Thieves back on fire. It's going to be a quick clash out long A. Working it through the doors. Jacob on the cusp of the corner already, but he's making noise, so Jax is going to hear this. And he's worried about that lineup spam, so he creeps back as his teammates crawl forward. It's just these pistol players off of Catwalk, but they're looking to get the work done while 100 Thieves sit comfortably in their spawn.
Look at the bomb nomadic, just going all the way over towards the tunnel, so it crossed As two CTs come to the top of mid with their pistols, and they trade for information, but like ships in the night, they've already passed. It's looking like some type of B play. This is interesting. I have no idea who could be at advantage, because even though G2 have a lot of information now, if they take too long to make a move, or if someone falls back, then how much is this worth?
Yeah.
They're very far from sites.
Well-timed wall of smoke. That's going to draw Kenny's attention. So now no longer any info on mid, and that big flank from G2 thinks it's going to find...
Oh, it pulls them that way.
The back of 100 Thieves. So it is all on Amanek once this moves forward. You've got to assume that G2 is going to start second-guessing this. They have spotted nothing at the 30-second mark. Now they're going to see that one op towards pit, but is it too late? Because Amanek's going to have to get 3 kills with a single mag of ump and only one for him. Very quickly, though, Jax is going to try to sprint back up towards door, and there's no smoke. Still, Liaz able to cross, and JKS has to give cover. Oh man, boiling down to just the 10 seconds.
He got hurt. Oh, that could give away wow, it could be an insanely important kill. JKS will turn his attention to the tunnels, reload, and someone will be on his back. That's Hunter.
Done. Liaz back in from the corner of the site, removed. And G2 get the retake rolling. There we have it. It looked like they were fools on the opposite side of the map.
So many variables there that make the difference. You know, if 100 Thieves execute early, if they don't use 2 people to commit to the fake, then they might have a better time there. G2 making a great info play at a weird time and responding to the wrong pressure, but then still coming back for the rotate. And also, they're able to get better guns. So there's a couple of things that go well there for G2 in what could have been a very, very unfortunate round. And yeah, all the bomb going back to respawn as they're pushing up mid. Very interesting stuff happening there. 4 rounds is the difference, and a really terrible buy here for 100 Thieves as they try to steal back the momentum, buying down to 0 for a Galil and a CZ. You wouldn't do that in 2018.
You know, whether they realize it or not, they did go to the B site last round and found 1 player. They'll have to ask themselves how much of that was because of their elaborate fake. But realize it or not, they are facing the same situation. Amanek completely cut off from any reinforcements because 100 Thieves waste no time to go into this mid-split. So if you thought Amanek was screwed last round, well, this time he is gone empty-handed. And already bomb planted with nobody else nearby.
Don't even try it, right? The off in the B sites, you're behind the smoke, you're not even in a position to help out. Look at this and contrast it to the way that Azur played mid and how helpful he was to the B players so often when it's tough. I mean, I'm not even discrediting how G2 played this. It's really difficult, but Azur was always in a good place to help out. And there was lots of situations where 100 Thieves were played 1B as well. Too much pressure to do too much from K-Sharp without any of that mid-presence. Amanek was really hung out to dry there, for sure.
Very much so.
A good call, though, from 100 Thieves to identify that was the right place to go.
Perfect chance to do it, right? Lickety split.
And the thing is about these buys that on T side, if you don't have a lot of money, if your first guy gets an entry like that and there's only 1 person there to defend, you pretty much win the round because everybody knows you don't want to retake B if you don't have to. A ton of incentive there just for them to fall back. Kenny S was actually the only person to get a kill. So I guess that Molotov did do something.
Just got
helped out.
Splattered. Never saw it coming. Which I guess is the better way to go out.
Yeah, fast and never saw it coming.
Yeah, no panic. No time to worry. Just gone. What's up, London? You guys with us, man? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? You guys are, hey, oh, hey. Man, we are 1 map deep into Group 3. It's been 2 awesome weeks here.
It has, yeah. We've been spoiled. And this is one of the tightest groups. It's not the group with the strawless, but it is like a group that just feels like it's way more even strength, and it's also got, it's still tier 1 competition. We still have so much to learn about G2 in this year. So they've got a roster you'd think they can actually commit to at this point. Especially if Kenny's going to come to play.
Ooh. Kenny. Where are you?
He is opping, yeah.
We'll find out. He's already going to have his 2 targets pass. Again, 100 Thieves fast in their initial sprint down mid. But their smokes will fade. And at any given moment, Kenny S could snap like that. See you later, JKS. And
fast.
They're going to get 1 man down into the CT spawn. 2 players down into CT spawn. We're getting weird. They're going to start running up ramp. Nexa regains vision just in the nick of time. And Hunter, he's playing with
Oh, that's
smoke.
tough.
That is luck.
Oh, he's going to put that out.
Oh, finally. He's given a second chance at back. Gratisfaction plucks him from the sky. And how many more die? Jax gets back into cover. Minute on the clock, easy plant for Gratisfaction. He wants that money.
That kill, that 1v2, we're in business. Here, a lot more difficult. If Gratisfaction finds a way to win this, it's G2 who messed up badly. He's up on his perch on the single box. Not many other places he can be. Nate comes out, does a good bit of damage, op shots in. Can he make this happen? Misses the easier one, but that's a round that they should have lost anyway.
Yep, there we have it. Given a chance, I like the fact he keeps it proactive, tries to block down Catwalk, doesn't let Jax get away without that warning shot down long. There were chances. But more importantly, G2 pick up a round and pick up 2 ops, something we saw them want from the get-go.
It was actually, it's so tough for them because the molly that lands to flush him out of Goose is the one that should win them around, but of course, he's in the corner and he knows where the molly lands, but the last couple ticks can bring that fire just a bit too close. And he was very lucky for it to last as long as it did. It's
like had he thrown it quicker, he would have given himself away and not gotten the bomb plant kill.
Yeah.
But not throwing it led him to pick up that bomb plant kill. But then he had to throw it after?
He had to throw it after, yeah. It just worked out beautifully for him.
Things got messy. But?
And terribly for 100.
Woo! That's a bit of a warning shot. Ooh, good job by Hunter to peek back into that scout. You know, he's not down with the bullying of his little brother. Amanek still stands on 30 health, but he is in the depths of that B bomb site.
Precarious here for 100 Thieves. Good for G2 to be in this long setup this late on, even though they've gotten a kill in the tunnels, because it looks like 100 Thieves are thinking about going towards this, probably assuming that G2 have pulled some presence. But the opposite is true. They're moving in.
Not going to get both. G2, you can look at the health that they've given away in order to get opening kills. They'll be happy with it, but they can't slip. Oh, they're going to keep this one rolling. Jax goes back in for more. And unfortunately for JKS, that was going to be his escort. Now he is tasked with making his way up mid. Hunter spotted by the boxes. And finally something going the way of the Aussies. But it's stripped back just as fast. And we have JKS 1v4.
Individual duels won here in long that dictate the round completely. And of course, Hunter also has to get his dink off before he dies, even though he gets caught off pushing through that mid smoke. But really great info plays here from G2. A nice round overall. And they had it from the jump. They kept their A setup, and they knew that 100 Thieves going to run into them. They did the damage in long nice and early to make it a 5v4. And it leaves JKS now to have to save 13 HP. He's going to run. Oh, it's actually someone running at him. Oh my God, so lucky to live in that moment. And G2 have now crossed the threshold. They're now into double digits.
3 rounds the difference. I believe the lead at its most was 6. That's neither here nor there. Halfway gone.
No money to buy. They can at least keep that 1 AK. We saw how much of a difference that made in rounds previous, just to be able to get 1 entry. G2 seeing this AK, do they want to think we've got to be worried about the B site? There's 2 ops here, so there's 2 ops and an MP9. So I'd say B is very appealing. But if I'm G2 and I know it's like this low of a buy, I'm going to play that similar setup where you had 3 inside of B. Maybe this time 1 a bit looser outside towards mid to get info, 2 in the site. And then you should be safe. We'll see if 100 Thieves even want to go B, because they're probably thinking this is quite obvious.
Well, right out the gate, we get that 2-1-2 from G2. Ooh, Hunter, ambitious. Sprints into the lower tunnel. He is met by that 1 single AK, so suddenly we've got a second weapon in the hands of 100 Thieves.
Yeah, no armor, though.
That's not going to help.
Yeah. Makes things a little harder.
Ooh. Wow. Hell of a shot. Down goes JKS. Although, if there is a silver lining, it's that they've used that to make their way to the opposite side. And that's going to draw the attention of Kenny as the 3rd mate comes to join them. And now, the entirety of what's left of 100 Thieves is up cat. They still have that AK. They've managed to lose their MP9. All 3 players on 100 health. I mean, just Nexa.
This AK's got to literally beat Jason Bourne, though, because he's got an AK with no armor. He's coming. Could potentially see someone on the ramp. I don't know if Priya's trying to help him out. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
But no kill is had. He's in the perfect spot to try to bait the shot, but not take the kill. Bomb could potentially get planted. That's something. Incendiary go too high and far.
Yep, and there's that flash behind Nexa. It's going to allow for him to clean up shop. But hey, all things considered, 100 Thieves happily going to put down that bomb.
Yeah. Whole round, G2 did not respond nicely to noise complaints.
Not at all.
You made some noise, they killed you. So
no warning.
Maybe they'll learn a lesson. 2 rounds of difference. Full buys out, nice and healthy here for 100 Thieves. SG in hand for Azza.
You like that wallbang shot from Kenny? Does that get you going?
I mean, I liked it. Why? Did you like it?
I liked it
Good.
a lot. I just want more of the AWP duels. I feel like that was one of the narratives we were having talked up before this match started. Time will tell if it has a heavy impact in what is the last 6 rounds of map 1. Here's Jax with a crisp headshot versus Jacob, but bodies for 100 Thieves piling here on the blue box. There goes the 3rd before finally they're able to respond, and Gratisfaction knows he can peek into this, but the AK's ready from Jax, and he's now toppled. JKS 1v4.
Got to write him off. He's going to pick up the bomb, but yeah, barely anything to work with. Last spot, I mean, the long control just falls on his face, as we can see by the mini-map. We've got the 2 deaths from the CTs for 4 trades. That's beautiful from G2. They are working on levels right now, looking to make this comeback. They look super strong.
Again, not shying away from playing these active plays. Yes, the round previous, it was still 4 pistols of the 5, but we saw Hunter go down into the lower tunnels. This time, Amanek working through T-spawn when they know they have that massive man advantage. But I feel like, what is this? Kenny S firing through smoke. Jax doing a great job of getting a double kill. You know, you saw how adamant 100 Thieves were on taking long A, and you saw the costs.
G2 look like a real 2-way team here, especially when it comes to long, which is a huge focus of the map. It's sometimes what makes the difference between you and a better team. And this is something that 100 Thieves has struggled with in that first half as well. That problem might cause them problems in this, because there's not that many rounds that G2 need to win. They could really stumble across the finish line if 100 Thieves aren't careful. And in fact, after this round, we're going to see a half force around that G2 should win. Lead into another bye, but it'll be 13-13 at that point.
Yeah. Although we are in that dangerous point of a Counter-Strike match where all it takes is a slip-up versus a bye like this, and 100 Thieves can forget about their struggles in the gun rounds. So do not get caught sleeping. Already lots of players working their way up cat, so I mean, you know, numbers game. If it's just about the trade frags, then this could get them in a 3v3 post plant, maybe a couple guns, but we can't ignore that early utility damage. Look at this. Kenny plucking one off early.
Solid response. They want to move out as fast as possible. Obviously not a lot of utility to work with here.
They're going to attempt. And Kenny still has cover. It's not like he's hyper-extended over towards the deeper boxes. Nope. He's on Goose.
With the perfect amount of nades used here. Just like a... Yeah, just
stalling them.
Exactly.
Still, Thieves able to stutter out from catwalk. They're going to start closing that distance, and Kenny's got himself a shot. All too easy by the looks of things for the first time here on map 1. It took them 27 rounds.
27.
But G2 are on fire.
They're on fire. Gotta love to see that. That's nice to see. Yeah, and they earned it, man. Their CT side looks solid so far. It feels like G2 or 100 Thieves are running into all these different areas of the map and facing new bosses. G2 are doing great on the holds, coming out positively in trades. Fantastic anti-eco right there, and they're gonna go right into this and maintain this double op setup versus Gratisfaction's 1. The tunnels control is out. They're running quickly into lower, just skipping all of this info, a potential op peering off of cat, just not even worrying about that. There's no one there right now. What is 100 Thieves planning? I wonder. Where do they see the weakness here for G2? Certainly not Kenny S, is it?
Shouldn't be. Gratisfaction welcomes him into a peek.
He hit him.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Given a chance, deep nade. Woo!
That probably wasn't worthwhile grenade to throw.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Kenny's got arms that big.
He's just ambitious, right? Like he's always going to try it instantly, and that's part of what makes him such a good... He's a very impulsive opper.
And when have impulses ever gotten anyone in trouble?
Yeah. Like sadly thinking of a number of times, right?
Yeah. It's like, don't tell them that one time, you know.
That is a big bit of information. It looks like Kenny, you know, a bit scared now, or just thinking about the round in a new way. Has moved off. Double push off of long, like what Jacob did, but now reinforced. They're at the top of mid. Oh my God. And 100 Thieves have no idea.
The thing is, they've missed it though. And there's this lower player looking at nothing.
Is he looking? No, he's not even prepared for this at all. Oh my God. I think he's, oh no.
Oh, it could be a tech perhaps?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Let's come back to that. What's important is that this catwalk push has just been obliterated. Hello?
Yeah, we're gonna have to
see what happens.
Yeah, work on that. That's unfortunate after the round had begun. Obviously, the rules are the rules, but that's a really rough round to lose. I think do we have enough to potentially buy? That's a thought. You would think tough one to analyze, but you would think that you know, G2 with the double push out long. Once you get out of the doors and to the top of mid, you have to give them a lot of credit there that they're either going to get the trades or they're going to catch them from someone from behind. But obviously, you know, can't take away from the fact that that's a rough spot to be in here. We don't know what JKS would have been looking at.
Yes. Although odds are probably not the wall.
Yeah.
Wherever he may have been. A little frustration. It's a hell of a time for this to happen. Unfortunate, Mo.
Yeah, don't know if this is like a easy fix solution or if it's going to be. It looks like he's back in the server, so reconnected. We'll see if his limbs are working.
All four.
Hopefully all four, yeah. Yeah, he's playing again. Folks, he's back on his feet. He's healthy.
Are we ready up off of this? Okay.
We are live. Okay, yeah, JKS, nice. I almost had to take him on a gurney out of here.
Right.
He's in such bad shape in that last round.
G2 keeping it on fire, still leading by 1.
They're playing for OT here.
Yeah, man. That's, man, that's a kick in the teeth.
It's really tough.
Feels bad.
Yeah, it feels bad. This is really tough for them because they got the armor. They've got enough to potentially win, but you know, it's 13-14. G2 could easily step into match point right now. Not many ecos have been won. Only early on in this match. It seems like the rust is shaken off for both teams. They're looking a lot more clean on their anti-ecos. So it's going to be a tough ask for 100 Thieves to pull this back. Look at the firepower meter. It's basically 10% of the length of G2's. We know sizes and everything, but in this situation, it matters a lot.
Yep. Still a world where 100 Thieves can use what they've been given. We've got that utility being thrown out on mid, a little bit of tick damage, so as his presence will be called, you can see Hunter getting a bit uncomfortable with the idea of players near, but Amanek, he's only going to get a few chances, and he misses the first 2, creeps back, gets the third, and even manages to hang on. It is a sweep from G2.
Could be an easy first map here now, because they've got the match point, they held it down right there. They aren't going to make any compromises on their buys right now. In fact, they're looking at like 16K a piece almost on all of their players. So not only did they come into this basically on fire, but they had such low losses on the rounds they won. They've just been able to build up a bank majority alive multiple rounds in a row.
Man, Amanek, you know after he misses those first 2 shots, he is sweating. And the problem being, ooh, little wall bang. Okay, something early to the favor of the Thieves. But Hunter also had to step up in that because once Amanek misses 2 bullets, sure, he's putting his own life on the line, but also making Hunter have to come in big. The fact that both those players recuperate with 2 kills apiece, a thing of beauty on the B site. So they survive the half buy, and now we find ourselves here with guns on both sides of the coin. The 29th round ready to unfold here, and it's a little bit of patience from the 100 Thieves as they go for the op boost.
The one to lock it up, it's going to be Cat. It looks like they're going to commit fully to this, right? No one's behind watching any flanks. JKS is just at mid sitting there, probably going to come up right after, potentially going to hold for the long push, but in general, they're going to commit minute mark crosses, and they're executing. It's on Kenny S now.
Go, deep molly. It's going to flush out Goose. They're not going to find anything for it. Kenny comes back in. Instantaneous frag versus Liaz. There's the second for Kenny S. And now it's a 3 versus 5 with map 1 on the line. They've gotten themselves the post plant at the very least. G2's map pick going well, but JKS is ready. Looking to seek revenge from the mishaps of a previous round.
Imagine he wins this.
Flash goes over. He's got Azza also looking into the wall. They're dodging these flashbangs. These CTs need to avoid lining up, and they'll do exactly that. All 3 kills have been taken, and G2 Esports pick up map 1.
Wonderfully done. Really good. You know, from beginning to end, it's a tight match. It's hard to even see who picked the map because they both played so well on it. But hats off to G2. In that second half, they definitely look clearly stronger. That was nice from them.
Yeah, both teams off to a strong start at the beginning of the T side, but it was 100 Thieves that kind of dropped the ball.
Flashing. I have a flash as well. Wait. Door close. Okay, go. I'm flashing. Let's go! Let's do boys. Defuse! I am alive, bro. Chill. Defuse G2!
Well, hilarious comms, also much reason to be happy for G2 Esports.
They've been focusing on defusing in their boot camp, obviously. For those people who don't know, G2 in the past have had issues with that.
I famously know that reached me as well.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty epic.
Some of the newer viewers, they don't watch all the tournaments.
Exactly.
So, you know, I want to make sure they're in on the joke as well.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Wonderful chat. But hey, overall, when you look at this, it was G2 Esports' map pick with Dust 2, and it didn't go extremely well straight from the get-go, I should say. In the beginning, it was good, but they got caught back up. But 100 Thieves wasn't able to finish. So let's break this down into kind of the components of the game. Because in the beginning, G2 had a phenomenal start on a map they well prepared.
Sure. I mean, obviously, it is their dream map. Like, I will say from listening to the comms, they are kind of pogging it a little bit. People are just calling what they're going to do, and they play off their skill. Like, in this game, the actual stylistic and personnel matchup of, like, the more skills on the G2 side, it's supposed to be about fundamentals and tactics on 100 Thieves. That played out, but then the map is what I think swung it, because the difference is perfect map to have just fraggers on if you G2, get into a bunch of rounds, win a few rounds that are here and there. But you look on the 100 Thieves side, if the normal Dust 2 team, you've won the game when you have the lead that they have and you have that many team rounds left. But you saw this isn't one of their best maps. It's not a map they have the super deep playbook on. They ran dry, I think.
Yeah, to be fair, after they had lost the Force Buy battle in the start of the game, they were 4-1 down. They actually needed clutches to get into it. We can probably bring them up. There's 2 clutches here within the first half. There's the JKS 2v1, and then that one's going to be followed up with the last round of the half, which was the Liaz clutch as well. So if we can bring them up, these were big rounds right now for the side of 100 Thieves to be getting back into the game, right? When you look at the way that they weren't clean rounds that they were winning.
This shouldn't even have been a clutch for JKS. They should have easily taken it on this one.
Yeah, they had that one, and then the one against the Liaz within the final piece, he's swinging out, and Nexer actually is the one taking the aggression on that duel, but it's a left eye peek. So going into that fight, which I'm sure we'll be able to see coming up after this one, he was doing the best he could out of a bad situation there, but those clutches were key to Renegades, bloody hell.
No, you can't do that
being
anymore.
able to at least win the half, right? Because the last round Liaz one gave them the 8 to take it across. And then as Dunga was talking about, they were up 13-8, and they still crumbled here. Now, look, I think we got to see some good moments from Kenny. Nexer towards the top of the scoreboard, 27 kills to his name. The guys from G2 look very comfortable on Dust 2.
It is map 2 of 100 Thieves versus G2 Esports. We had ourselves a close affair on Dust 2. There was moments where I felt like the Aussies were going to take that home, and then G2 swung it back.
Yeah, they did, and they looked really good in the second half, so I want to give them a lot of credit. I thought especially their antics at long, whether it was on T or CT side, in taking control of it, getting the kill, or holding it down, definitely edged out 100 Thieves. So now we're going to move into Vertigo, another interesting map, where it feels like, apart from 1 or 2 teams at certain points, nobody really has this map 100% figured out. People are still trying to figure out what to do at mid. They're still trying to figure out if they want to go for B execs or if they're going to go back to full-on A plays, and game plans seem to change at the drop of a hat.
Well, I'm all for it. Let's get weird on Vertigo. It's always a good show. Over here towards the A sites where we're going to start things off. G2 obviously on the T side. The Thieves hold the line. So far, so good. No casualties either way.
Yeah. Move up. They're looking to take control of J-Hall. 3 CTs pushing out. Instant headshot back and forth, actually. But it looks like it's the CT. Oh my God, JKS! The 4 headshots right off the bat. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous.
Let's get that cued to the replay real quick because we need to see how a man that slick just wrecked the ramp. I mean, for a moment, it looked like G2. 3 CTs lining up like that should have been easy. Here we have it.
There's just no way to expect that. What a crazy way to start things off.
Damn, man.
Last bullet, 3 for 3, just out of ammo right after he gets the last kill. And obviously still has the sleepy eyes.
Looking to fight back with a vengeance, but here we have it. Anti-eco versus just the Glocks. Not even a bomb plant for G2 in that pistol round. That one's gonna hurt the bank account. Like a Friday night out. Azza playing back behind construction. He's gonna have Jacob try to come help him. He's not even gonna shy away from these gunfights. They've got grenades, they've got USPs, and it looks like they've locked down another round. 2-0 the start for the Aussies.
That's a nice way to begin things, that's for sure. A lot of money made there. As you can see, the amount of kills here are basically mostly in the hands of Azza. There's not going to be too many other guns upgraded. Definitely a good round here for G2 in terms of firepower. They're going to be looking quite strong. Money spent is about equivalent, but the amount of MP9s we're seeing, you'd think, okay, 100 Thieves are going to do something a bit atypical here. Maybe go for some early aggression because they've got to make it a bit closer to G2 before they can win trades. Oh, what a spam from Jax! That is just wonderful.
Man, I was thinking to myself, like, this could be a great grenade, and suddenly Jax takes control of the situation. That'll wake you up.
Amazing.
I feel like Azza's never going to throw that grenade for the rest of the half.
He's never going to stand there again, that's for sure, unless he spams back. But yeah, super good way to open up a round. Don't see a person and get a kill. Now the 3 swing in front of the Molotov at mid, and it looks like we've got a lot more mid presence as part of the strategy here for G2. A lot of teams are wondering what the potential or value is of taking mid. Let's see if G2 can show us what that value is.
Yeah, they are very much all in on it. They have no presence over on A. Just making sure nobody flanks the depths of Forklift. Nexus floating around just beneath them, and Hunter here too. So they'll sit and they will wait, and they've burned the time down to 40 seconds. We saw them doing this on Dust 2 even. Those late splits in the final 20 seconds.
They hold this position. They rocket back now, back down the ladder into the spawn, looking to make a move on the A site.
I mean, we talk about the sound playing a key piece of Vertigo. You can hear everything from everywhere. So when you boil it down to 30 seconds and then decide to move almost everyone to the opposite side of the map, I mean, they have to walk this entire way. They are playing a dangerous game. Lady Luck may show her face here. 8 seconds left over. JKS could try to commit to something on the A side if he wants to stop that plant.
No Molotov.
I don't think they have it.
They can't even plant the bomb? Oh my God. That's a little bit ugly. Obviously, you know what? I was going to say, even though this is coming down to the wire, they walk all the way, they got the rotates they wanted to. They had JKS in a rotator spot holding the A side alone. They have someone at mid. They've established mid control. All 3 other players are on the left side of that mid control, so they're so far away from being able to trade. If they just kill JKS, they get it. But not even enough time to plant on your own clock as well.
Crazy part is it's not like JKS goes in and pulls like what we saw from NAF last week, which is the wall bang through. Like there was still timing for that bomb plant to maybe sprint a little. All right, that is an awkward way to give away a 3rd round, especially when it's not like 100 Thieves even had to work for it. They literally just sat back in spawn and allowed G2 to offer over the round.
Interesting. They spent all their money here because they saved all their guns. They just basically made nothing off of that. They're going to move fast on the entry. MP9 gets taken out. Both players on the B site gets taken out. So all of a sudden, it matters a whole lot less. Let's see if they can get some constellation frags. Maybe even pull this back. We've got a 3v4 situation. Molotov to push a player out of position. And it has been difficult for teams to win in the post plant.
Jacob
on B.
Within green, just trying to play around these corners, and the flashbangs are going to allow for him to go for that reload. JKS near. Ooh, they've got 3 CTs for the retake, up close already, and they're starting to get their feet onto the bomb site itself. Low health for Jacob, and Amanek is going to have to work his way around this smoke. It's a quick bomb tap that elicits the spray down, so now they know exactly where he is. He's going to have to go for the reload, and the defuse has been snuck through. 100 Thieves with another robbery of a round.
3 to 4, and that bomb goes down. But we're just seeing it's such a huge problem for teams because of that separator smoke between the generator and the wall. It just allows these CTs to take a bunch of favorable angles. If they have a Molotov for default, if they can clear out the back of the site. Look at this. All these CTs are working on the exact same fight. It's much more difficult for the Ts to get anything done, especially if you're going to be out there in the middle. So sometimes those rounds can get a lot closer, but a lot of the times you're seeing if they've got the right protocols, you're winning the round on those retakes. We're going to have a T timeout called as they have to now think about what's happened. Maybe not so much strategy here and actually just T.
Yeah.
Some T.
All right, guys. First, remember, plant the bomb. Second, don't let them defuse the bomb.
Yeah, but it's more complicated than that, right? It's really difficult to. This is a huge problem right now on Vertigo. Is teams can't figure out how to win post plants on B.
Yep.
It's an issue. It was Liquid when they tried it for an entire map versus Astralis. It was part of their strategy coming into the map. By the end of the map, they were going A every single round in a row. So I don't know if G2 are going to try that again or what the case is, or if people are just having more success in practice than they are live.
A weird one, but alas, it leaves us here. G2 favored on the Betway live odds. Obviously, map advantage is going to favor them well. Their map choice of Dust 2 getting picked up in quite a close fashion. And these teams had a record on Dust 2 split down the middle, so G2 now edges that 2-1.
Pushing up for the B hit once again. You can see, they've got no one else on A. They're going to commit to this at some point. Minute 20, and they're already in position. Smokes will come flying over. 2-on-2 setup. Aggression down the A ramp, so they're pretty confident that is 100 Thieves that it's going to be B.
Well,
We'll see how it plays out.
See how they're able to handle this. Good pop flash off at the side. Liaz able to get one player removed from the hit. Azza inside of the smoke could wrap back around these Ts. Oh my god, they're all still all over this site. Here comes Azza in from close proximity, dropping a second player and a clean sweep in the retake. Dude, I love that. They're not forcing the issues. They're not standing in the open. They're literally smoke camping, letting G2 try to play their post plants, making them think that it's all clear, and then popping out and sealing the deal. A 5th round.
We'll see how many times Azza can try to pull that off. I think they're very lucky to find that G2 just moved directly into their execute at the beginning of the round, because 100 Thieves won that last round. They got utility advantage, so they're very happy to play calm.
Sure.
It's G2 who are taking a risk by coming in so early, especially considering that last round. They baited out way more utility. They brought it down to the wire, put the bomb down, even had a man advantage and still lost. You would think G2 might try to work the map a little bit more like they did. Did such a good job at mid, actually. You wonder why they won't try to, why they haven't, or why they may not in the future try to condition 100 Thieves into wasting some of their nades at middle, at the beginning at least. But now we're moving into what could potentially be, well, they start off on fire, 5 in a row. They've begged the op out of Kenny. Everybody's bought down a 0 from G2. And they've had a couple of rounds that are just really sad to think about, but they got to forget about as well.
Got to move along. It is only 5-0. Ooh, JKS fears not a man on the other side. Spam shots, actually. Look how close that is to hitting the mark. But 100 Thieves ready to go for this. Gonna try and get their eyes down range. They've got to be cautious. There are bodies on both sides. But this gunfight could be a tough one. Flash misses the mark. Gratisfaction misses the shot. JKS still playing off of the short shelf. Could go for the peak. And he does. Dance with death.
Yeah. They're winning the positioning battle here. Jacob going for the spam. Oh, doesn't go. But Kenny S does.
Nails the first one. God, that was tense, man. Considering we had 6, 7 players all incrementally getting closer and closer. But the only shot that really hits the mark is Kenny. Jax is low, but so be it. Still, CT's not shying away from this, not looking to fade into the bomb site. All G2 have had to do is wait. Nexa gonna put down 2 players. Azzer only able to manage 1, and Liaz is nowhere to be found.
Monster.
So G2 has to win this round.
Yeah, it's a monster entry here from Nexa. And just as you're saying, no matter how unfortunate G2 have been, so far. There's no way they can drop this one. Liaz will be stuck back in the site, but it's kind of okay. I mean, if I'm 100 Thieves, I'm very happy with how this half has gone so far. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to win this next round, you'd think, just based on the money. Actually, yeah, no, they'll put together a buy. And G2, on the other hand, they've got one thing that works, and it came from 3 amazing entries on the A side. So still not a lot of game tape for G2 to look back on and think, let's try that again.
Yeah, there's also a world where, as opposed to 100 Thieves moving their pieces forward, being caught, as you can see on the mini-map, so closely together there, they could have waited onto the bomb site. Could have forced the execution, could have tried to play like we saw in the post-plant on the B site just 1 round prior. I mean, I don't even know if you call that a retake if the CTs never leave the site.
That's tough, yeah. Semantics on that one. I'll get a second opinion. These are such good entries. But again, yeah, and 100 Thieves are there fighting on the A ramp, flashing for the retake, trying to push off of it. G2 are ready the whole time. So that's kind of good. I mean, at least they got the fights they wanted to take. What's going to be the new approach for 100 Thieves is going to be A again. Definitely have a feeling we're going to see a lot more action at A after those couple of rounds that we saw at B this half so far.
Seem to have an inkling as to all these players here early. Oh, wow, Gratisfaction. This man is dangerous.
What? Was that through the sandbag? Kenny found that. Of course, the pixel peek and he'll nail it.
Oh my God. And he's going to have himself a second chance. I mean, Gratisfaction's on the cusp of death here, but I love that he's not shying away from this. He's not scared. He knows his head is undercover. Either of these ops could blow right through it. Millimeters.
So tense, man.
There it is. He does wait around long enough to drop a body. 4v4. But again, it's just the intensity of these standoffs at A.
And Gratisfaction will move into a new spot. Incognito mode, walking the entire time. Kenny flashes himself into that position and will have to move off the angle now, so the CT Opper wins the duel finally.
Yeah, that's a good underhanded flash just to take back some real estate. And Gratisfaction decides not to shy away from this. He's going to play close on the fire, 30 seconds for G2, and they are working off a man disadvantage. They've got the utility to make this execute happen, but the longer they wait, the more Thieves that end up showing up to the show. Here we go. Smoke up and over, but dealing with 2 players inside of short, this could be a catastrophe for the T's. Sure, 1 Molotov flushes JKS into the open. That's something, but they need these short kills, and they will come up empty-handed. A rock-solid hold by Gratisfaction.
Let's talk about Gratisfaction, man. That's beautiful stuff from him. Positionally, like, one thing I love is that even as his teammate dies basically in his arms, right beside him here at the sandbags, you have Kenny lurking around this box. Gratisfaction is relatively out in the open, but doesn't fall completely off his position. He's not scared of Kenny that whole time. You have to appreciate kind of the gravitas of that positioning and the fact that he's just going to help his teammates because otherwise they're going to lose. Gets the kill on the A ramp, gets the 2 falling back, and he also takes out Kenny all alone. He is more than invaluable at this point now for their A holds. And he's been really good at being aggressive too, which you think is supposed to be a lot more volatile of a spot for the CTs to be in. Look at this again. He's just audaciously peeking at A-Ram, not scared of Kenny whatsoever. This time it looks like, whoa, he's very close. Oh my God! The reaction of that to hit him off the side of the sandbags once again in flux.
And he sees another one. He's not going to be able to deal with JKS just yet. He's honed in on it, takes a shot to the head. JKS has this minimal position, so he had nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He dies to the op of Kenny S. A second pickup from the sniper of G2 already, but Jacob's playing games.
It doesn't look like they're even going to molly him out, but yeah, they're not spotting him right now. Nexa's got a nade out.
Can we just take a moment to feel for Liaz? He's been at this B site 3 rounds in a row and hasn't seen a thing.
He looks like a guy who just likes reading books and hanging out by himself anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's just chilling in the B site,
yeah,
like appreciates the solitude.
This is his ideal game of Counter-Strike, perhaps. But here it goes. They've got the double smoke past the bomb site. Still, nobody's actually cleared sandbags until now. Kenny.
Dude, Kenny.
Cerebral. Well played by him, but still, there's a challenge at the A site. Getting that bomb down. They've done it. CT's just on the other side, and Liaz picking up a kill through smoke. That's going to be great. However, do they go one further? Follow-up utility here as the belts of G2 run deep. Now out of nades. Just that single flash, and they're gone. They're going to go ahead and retreat. That's G2 Esports slowly but surely inching their way into that A site 2 rounds in a row.
You want to learn how to work the A ramp, you got to look at Kenny here. Even Gratisfaction that previous round, so much data and just like how to play against your opponents, especially if they're opping.
Yeah.
But then Kenny catching him off guard as he's crossing back from the sandbags to the A site. Through that same corner of the sandbag, just an amazing reaction speed. I'd like to get the calculation on that because it didn't seem like he stopped at all. He was just trying to bait a shot out if possible and just nailed this. Oh my God, yeah.
See, Gratisfaction makes that slight error, right?
Guess
he moves
gave
forward. As long as you stay as far back as possible, sandbags will cover you at all times. But Kenny S just sniffing him out. Hounds him down.
No, you didn't know he got a clue as the drop-in came. Yeah,
you see the frustration from both the players.
Jacob seemed a little bit unaware of how much he was exposing himself, though. So not sure what happened there. But yeah, from there on as well, Kenny goes to make it a multi-frag round. All important positional kills. Moving on to the A side.
You know, I said it when this series started. I wanted Gratisfaction versus Kenny S. And right now, that's what we're getting at this A site. So, I'd love to keep it rolling. But unfortunately for 100 Thieves, they're going to have to go ahead and take one on the chin, Mohan. They don't have much to play with here.
But potentially, yeah. I mean, take one on the chin in the sense they lose. So they're still going to buy, but yeah, they're not going to get everything they want.
Yeah, it's looking light.
Yeah, we'll see what JKS wants to grab. And yeah, Gratisfaction with the scout, it's something. What's interesting though is with the rounds that we've seen so far, it looks like Gratisfaction could potentially still have like huge impact if they play the A ramp the same way. You know, I'm kind of turned off by the fact that we're seeing so much of this A ramp back and forth from both sides already, and it seems like they both know what each other are doing. There's not much outplaying in a more macro tactical aspect from both teams. It's mostly relying on their operas to win their duels, to get these individual duels slightly in their favor on the A ramp, but everybody knows that the party's on the A ramp.
We got to fix a coach mic. 6-man of any good team. I already see players unpausing, so it's just a matter of here we go.
Okay, we're back into it already. That's good. Quick fix. Anti-cheat is on. We are locked up. 10 seconds to go before we start the round, and JKS decided it was deagle time. He's going to go ahead and pick that up along with a little bit of utility. This round has bled down. I'm not sure how much of a factor the utility has been, as long as you have a couple of important grenades left over for the executes.
Gratisfaction has no armor, but he has $1,000. And he's immediately going to get pressured off of this A ramp. Nice grenade. Damn, half of Jack's health gone. That's going to open up the scout for an early 5v4. As long as he hits the shot, aim punch could be such a brutal factor for Gratisfaction. 9 out of 10 players over here on this A site. Kenny S is going to be given a chance to walk forward with the scope already in. Killing an assist from Nexa. That's a great start, but here comes Azza trying to line up more than just the one. JKS down 2. And once again, it's G2 forcing through the defense at the A site.
Dude, Nexa knows everything about the A sites. In terms of getting these trades, he's been so super sharp. Him and Kenny are a great tag team. They are working this beautifully, and as you pointed out, you know, they took a little bit of a knock there. There's 100 Thieves with the amount of stuff they could buy. They would call it themselves probably something of a full buy, but they also hedged their bets with that save. So I mean, maybe with the $1,000 saved on Gratisfaction, so potentially still thinking about the future, but looking at that as an opportunity to like completely swing back the momentum. Like if they were able to pick that up, then then G2 might have been saving. So
yep. Ooh, Eminem, gotta be cautious because it almost costs Jax. Again, Jax is gonna start a round with just 50 HP.
One thing I do like is that, you know, with all the A stuff going on, if it is 100 Thieves to make an adjustment to think, what else can I do? Oh, that's a nice boost. Maybe they go to mid, and G2 already have like a really good mid protocols, and then they could potentially keep that going. So I guess as long as A site works out for them, it could potentially get rougher for 100.
Splattered. Here's Liaz back in with the P250. He's gonna try to just tuck himself away. Hope it goes unnoticed, and he does drop the bomb carrier. JKS with a pistol kill, 2 at a distance.
Wait a second.
Where has this come from? Oh, baby, there's a chance Ooh, but Aminex had enough. He's going to take down 2 of the 3. Here comes Jacob out of the smoke and almost able to push it to the 1v1. An excellent round coming out of 100 Thieves considering their minimal investment. The boost was nice. The P250's on point. Mwah.
Wow. Yeah, and Aminex saves the day for sure. So great boost, a couple of cool and interesting tactics to pull it back. Nice long-range shots here from a few players, mostly from high ground. Buy-in here as Gratisfaction spends everything, so he did the math perfectly. He's got enough for the op, a couple of nades, his armor as well. And everybody else has pretty good nades as well. No incendiary, though. Gratisfaction going to fall off as a couple of flashes come his way. Could have been a good move from the T as they posture up now to attack the A site in a very similar fashion.
Actually, Gratisfaction doesn't have his armor.
CT is looking a lot more timid. Oh, he doesn't? Okay.
No, aim punch could be, again, an issue. Last time he died so fast it didn't really matter, but at least this time it's not just a scout. You know? I feel like op, unarmored,
it's
still a hell of a beast.
It's only the nades you have to worry about, so if you don't play those positions, then it's no big deal. You know, if you miss and get sprayed down by an AK, you're dead no matter what.
Seems we're going back to the B site. Liaz, ready to play.
Yeah. Well, this is like a better spot because, you know, it's versus a force buy. They have them so scared of A that they've got 4 players there.
Yeah.
One of the op is going to be retaking.
He can't let his guard down at all. I mean, again, he's been left to his own devices on this site for so long now, but it is very much a commitment coming in from the T's. They have to contemplate bursting through that smoke. They clear him close, and then down goes the second as a empty-handed. It is a clean sweep of the B site. They're actually able to clear out those corners, unlike last time when that came back to bite them.
I think 100 Thieves felt a little bit of pressure there to try to end the round fast. Yeah, moving in, not allowing the plant to go down, wanting to help out Liaz while they had the opportunity. But the rotates were late. They didn't have any incendiaries, which is key to those retakes. And no way to push the guy off the back of default. So potentially some great calling here from G2. Just working off of their information. Next to playing the brain game.
Big old brain game. And also, still playing very well. His entries have been huge. He's on the top of the scoreboard for a 2nd map in a row.
Right.
So.
And they're converting a lot of the 5v4s, not all of them.
Doing work, man.
Wow. Nice. I love his ascending nices.
Yeah. It's almost, it's musical. Meanwhile, Kenny S still making the op sing. And Jax, that's confirmation bias. You know, you get that wallbang kill one time, and he's going to do it for the next 40 rounds of his life.
Yeah, why not? If they can't stand in that wall, you just let them know every single time. If you're foolish enough to play here, get the kill, once, twice? If that's a round, then it's worth it. Especially in this early portion of the round, first 10, 20 seconds. G2 working it slow, and you got to think the breadth of their strategy is going to go up to this. Same turn of the corner here by the sandbags. Up onto the site. Another playing games at mid. Azar, what's he waiting for? Will a flash come over for him, or is he just going to try to take this as soon as somebody makes noise? Yeah, he comes up with a peek. And Amina cannot protect Jax. He did not want to fight. He was going to fall back.
Ooh, oh, sorry, bro. I was blinded.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, that's when
you threw like 6 flashes at me. I couldn't do anything.
Make a quick excuse and move along, but ooh, Jacob popped on the. Ooh, Hunter just going one after another.
That's kind of been how it's been, right? Like before you know it, first entry turns into 2. Yeah. One player does most of the work.
And those bomb sites slip quickly from their fingertips. Here's Hunter, chance at another frag, and he will do exactly that. So making quick work of the pistol rounds and tying things up at 6.
Yeah, G2 on fire, 6-6, and their T side just looks really nice now.
This is near mirrored image of the second half of Dust 2, where we had 100 Thieves starting off so strong that it looked like they might sweep it, only to lose that momentum and then some. But luckily they are back in with another buy, and they've got that op on Gratisfaction.
Much more incendiaries can make the difference. What is the adjustment that 100 Thieves need to make? We've got some presence at mid. Again, Azar has been great at turns on CT side in terms of moving around, being of assistance to both his A and B players. Bomb here. Is that dropped inside of lower potentially as they work things? Not sure, but they'll jump over. New lane of attack into B. Let's see if they can make use of mid here. Boost onto the site. Liaz, does he have another thing coming? It looks like he's might be inching into the crosshairs of Kenny S. He is so damn close. There's an opportunity here.
Oh my god.
Earned by gaining mid. And there it is. Oh. But he doesn't hit it, and he gets spotted. He has to give that up.
Liaz will not peek that again.
It's lucky stars.
An early warning. Obviously, that's going to call that the open mid play could come back to bite them. JKS looking to just lock this down from CT spawn, but he's also giving away a little bit of movement here for G2, trying to maybe corral them into a false sense of hope. Look, now they're going to start rounding that corner, and he could re-peek right into this. He's got to be worried about that new door. But, oh, damn. He could now come back into what is the setup. G2 going to try to pull the trigger on this quick B crunch. Liaz from both directions going to feel pressured, and he swings wide. Stops it from the spawn, but Nexa's on site with the bomb down already. A frag grenade, negligible damage. He gets his gun back up, peeks in, and he's got the smokes to play around with. Ooh, there's the first one. Good headshot. Gratisfaction falls. That's a sound cue, but his attention's so turned.
Drop the peek. There it is.
He's ready for him, but cannot stop the op of the Aussies. 100 Thieves put out the flames of G2, and they are back on the board.
Finally,
only 2 survivors, but damn, that round was dirty.
That's true. They move off of a win, so lots of money here for G2. This is where things get really interesting. You wonder what G2's mind is on right now. They want to go back to what they work with. They want to try that B exec one more time. The thing is that 100 Thieves, even though they won that round, they're going to try to buy up a lot of utility. They had majority dead. So they won't be able to afford, I think, full utility on every single player, which I think is going to make the difference. Though they do have, no, they actually have put together. They picked up a Molotov. They bought 2 incendiaries. They have lots of HEs to work with. That makes me very scary. And once again, it looks like the default here is towards A. Yeah, 100 jumping up fast. Could get off, but no, not just yet. Flashes come out. But these initial flashes have come out before, and they've waited.
This is kind of where all the French success began on this T side, was Kenny cracking open the A site. Let's see what's in store. Gratisfaction, standing on the top rope. Looking to elbow bomb anybody that walks around ramp. But man, it's almost uncanny. This position from G2, it makes me anxious. It's so far forward that you don't really have eyes on flank.
It is unnerving.
But you're not so far around these corners that you're ready to take these duels. Still, JKS, he comes into it. Oh, ruins their setup. Side by side with Jacob. CCTs, they push into a spot where the T's have no cover, but these last 2 players try to bounce back, shut down by the flank.
Wow.
And that's what I'm talking about. It's a very anxious positions. If the counter-terrorists decide to push you, you have no cover. If you get hard flanked, you're done.
Yeah, and Nexa was it was just a can opener, right? When they came around the corner, he was able to isolate 3 trades, break their heads wide open, come around the A ramp onto the A site, but they can't call based on that, I guess. So it seemed like G2 won of those fights to begin with. On that round, I mean, it changes the thought a little bit. Is that exactly how they thought it'd go? Was there something wrong there about the communication that allowed them to eat those flashes when in the past they didn't? These are questions we have, and it looks like G2 think that they could definitely do that or win a round like that in the future. So they're going to go right back to it and try it again.
Ooh, missed off shot. There
it is. Nexa gets 2, and potentially 3. The trade is even better.
4v2 still. There's a chance. Liaz is going to scurry over as quick as he can. He's still wary of a flank, but I mean, G2 have just been so all in on this A play. Let's rewind 1 round. They're in the exact same position.
Yeah, they're in the same position. So that they believe that on that last round, something went wrong that they weren't planning for, something they didn't expect. Maybe they're happy again for 100 Thieves to try to get aggro down that ramp. 2 players here left over on what is the last round of the half. They're going to move in. JKS, monster on the pistol round. Not so much right here. Liaz looking for the spray down. 2 players up, but he can't get away, and that's round 1 for G2.
Yeah, he tries to get a grenade off in time, but down he goes. A final attempt. In the exact same fashion as map 1, we finish the half at 8-7. Again, it's as close as could be, but we are on the map choice of 100 Thieves, and they're switching over to the offense. I've got to say, Mohan, I have high expectations for them. I'm hoping they give us something fresh. I hope they approach Vertigo with some kind of new look, because this map's in a really weird place.
Yeah, I agree. It's in a very strange place, and I think G2 responded well to their shortcomings on that half, and I'd like to see what 100 Thieves' plan is and if it pans out a little bit better. Looks like A to begin things.
Yeah, very quickly. Already going to be trying to challenge Hunter off of the short shelf. He has support now in position. Jax coming in from behind to try and hold the line, but they've lost short. Ooh, Liaz tries to trudge into the bomb site, and that's going to cost him. 2 versus 4 still for 100 Thieves, and I'm curious to see if they play the kills before the bomb. Azo wants that money. And all of a sudden, they're going to get flushed out. It's a rapid push in from the counter-terrorist, looking to retake by storm.
Kenny, man. I love Kenny right now. He is so nice with it. All his kills have been so impressive, and it's like on pistols, on ops, all these pixel peek angles where he's winning duels. He seems very like hyper-focused, like ready to react. And obviously hitting flicks too. That's a beautiful pistol round.
Yeah, and when I talked to him yesterday, I mean, that's what really he had to say in the interview. That's all he really had to say, was that he had taken the time off, he feels fresh, he believes in this face of G2, and he wanted to kick off the year running. Well, this man's sprinting into bomb sites on the retake, popping heads all over, and getting this score tied at 8 apiece. It's wild to think 100 Thieves, they had an 8-7 lead, but they lost the opening duels 5-10 in that first half. So constantly playing off the back foot, just like they will here in round 17. 2 Kriegs, 3 Deegs, and a nice bit of utility.
Yeah, the solid plant to help the buy get a step up. They're going to go ahead with all this utility and attempt an A-hit. I think they have a very good chance of getting through here with a couple of kills, unless Amanek has something to say about it. He's got the UMP, looking for so much damage. He finds a bunch of it. He's actually got 2 players down to the point where they just get peppered off easily. It's just Azur and Liaz who have to move up. They'll both be able to pick up Kriegs, which is nice, but it's a 2-on-4 situation, so yeah, that's not so nice.
Azur's also not working with armor, so I feel like a bit more of this falls onto Liaz. He's been the last man standing in so many a situation, but at least the A site's pretty much been given over, all this free real estate for them to get closer.
Kenny just got boosted, in the back of the site to see over top of default. Let's see this angle.
Ooh, could very well catch them off guard. This is M4 versus Krieg, but element of surprise, no problem. Here comes Liaz with some kind of an answer. Now, he could molly off Kenny from getting into the bomb site, just try to get that bomb down if needed, but he's left it behind. So he's looking to play kills at the 30-second mark, and he'll do that. Cuts it down to the 1v2. Could predict the flank.
He knows that someone's here for sure.
Yep.
That guy's not going to show his face, though. He's a sneaky mouse. He's going to allow for this plant to come down. It's a 2-on-1. Doesn't want to blow it. But Jax shows himself.
Ooh, dangerous. He's going to tap that bomb. 10 seconds left over. Now that flank's very much activating. Another kill from Liaz.
He's just got to assume.
From a 1v3 to the 1v1, it's going to take a headshot. Nexa already up around the ramp. He's seen him, and all he has to do is connect. But it's Nexa again and again. He is so on point in this series. G2 take a lead.
You have got to love it. But I also appreciate, Liaz was lagging behind in terms of his performances. He dropped off a lot, but he really appears to be extremely smart in the 1v1s and in the clutches in general. It's good to see he's picked up a couple of them. It's good to see he's last alive in some of these situations because he always finds a way to make it closer, competitive, and at the very least gets a lot of damage off on the other team. It's sad, obviously, to see him lose around like that, but you think, G2 are going to win that 9 times out of 10. The rate G2 up around and up a map. Very close now to potentially just closing this out 2-0. I think you, as well as I, can see a world where that absolutely happens.
Liaz buys back in. All right. Yeah. Solo Krieg.
He just had, I guess, a little bit more money than everyone else. Or, yeah. Maybe somebody else did. Graz Faction has enough to buy up in a bit, so it's okay to have. Like, we know Vertigo, there's lots, it's like kind of like Nuke in the sense that there's very valid spots to have shotguns, to have SMGs. So if that's part of their buy, that'd be totally normal.
But this is a tough pill to swallow. I mean, they come in with Liaz ready to rock that Krieg. He's down to 49 HP instantly, and instead it swaps hands to Azur. Now, he does still have armor at least.
Yeah, that's something.
And he is most certainly capable But he's going to lead the charge here. He's taking that forefront. Look at the sneaky position just next to the crane.
No, we've definitely got fresh stuff here from G2 in terms of how they're playing it. Again, the flash to trigger things. He's going to go off, get a kill, spot 2, fall back. They don't even see him.
Nope, and he's ready for more. Liaz pops his head up, now relegated to one of these pistols. It's Gratisfaction who's going to have a chance with a bigger gun.
Okay.
My, oh my, 4 kills and money, baby.
You shall not cross.
Amanek
picks a spot on the ramp and wipes it clean. That's so nice. So much money, too, involved in those kills.
So ready off the flashes. Just milking it. You lined up, you got wrecked, and now you're buying back in with everything they have. 100 Thieves down by 2, trailing. As G2 have gotten themselves onto the double digits first, here comes Hunter, and it's gonna cost them. Jacob, first bit of success here. Kenny off of the side of boxes, denied by Azza, and Amanek, well, he succeeded last round. Can he line them up again? Seems not. We've got 100 Thieves with a 4v2.
Things not so hot this time around as they attempt the same strategy, but it's actually 100 Thieves to bring the tempo one step higher. Now they've got mid control to work with. Bomb actually pulling its way back. Jack's running through the fire, realizing the importance of the rotation at this moment in the 2v4 to take a risk, but the risk does not pay off, and in fact, him and his teammate will both die in basically quick succession. Glock to the head of Nexa, and that's round 1 for 100 Thieves to pull it back. All it needed was a little bit of extra juice.
A little pizzazz. They threw it at that A site and then immediately sprinted back. I got to give props. DJ actually showed us JKS perspective 2 rounds ago when we had that lineup from Amanek, right? JKS was just creepy crawling outside of the B bomb site. And, you know, information, name of the game sometimes on Vertigo. And you saw how adamantly and quickly they were able to move that bomb over to the opposite side of the map. It paid off. JKS, again, ensuring that his team have an alternative route, that they don't have to smash their heads against this A wall over and over. Kind of like what G2 did. You know, they didn't succeed at B, so they kept trying at what worked. It got them here, still holding on to a 1-round lead, but keep your eyes on Hunter. He is close smoke on short.
Yeah. He wants to push. I don't know if they'll expect this. Interesting, smoke can help him out a little bit. Jacob will spam into it and catch him falling back. Kenny left alone on the A site. Well, Amanek's a bit farther away. Jacob picks up the pieces of Kenny's body as well, and let me drop the fire behind just to make sure he couldn't leave.
It's just cutting him down at the knees.
Yeah. Good anti-eco so far.
Yeah. Doing a really good job of just slipping into the side of this A site. They've left bomb behind. Don't need any unnecessary losses. Counter-Strike, counter-terrorists.
Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike.
Always weird to hear that.
You ever heard it? Heard of that game?
I heard of that. It's a pretty good game, yeah.
I think it's all the rage.
And we've got the Betway odds flying in, 1.33 there.
For G2?
For G2, just slightly in the lead on this map. Once again, well, this one, it's going to be tied up. Both are going to hit double digits, and then we'll find out what happens. In terms of game plan right now, Connor, who do you like more? Like, what do you, from what you're seeing? We haven't seen the full...
The full spectrum.
Yeah, we haven't seen the full spectrum, full buy versus full buy, 100 Thieves on this T side so far, but I feel like I really like what we're seeing from G2. I have a lot of faith in their first map, and then also what we've seen in the first half. Even though it was tight, right? Even though it was 8-7.
Absolutely. I'm curious to see at what point, if needed, 100 Thieves are able to kind of change direction over towards that B site. We've been talking about it. Vertigo, just as a map, is a bit awkward on that side. You know, the post plants particularly seem to be a struggle. So, seeing as they are one of these teams who have decided to pick this map, I would like to see their style and their hands playing at it. But that is not a problem just yet.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Thank you.
Since they picked it, I like that point. Since they picked it, you know, maybe they're one of the teams that have worked on that specific part of the map more than anyone else.
That smoke's been consistent. Constantly throwing that one out early. See where it lands. They're on short. Woo, that is Molly damage, baby. And Kenny S.
Wait.
How has he managed that?
It didn't seem like his angle was that deep to be able to pull that off. Amanek having to spray. Gratisfaction doing his best Nexa impression up the A ramp. Double entry here to open things up, and it leaves one player alone, Hunter. Not just any player, Hunter here on the A side. Teammate coming in slightly behind him.
Did have the highest blast score of anybody in this server before the match. So let's see if he's tested. But again, 100 Thieves, they can decide to head elsewhere if they want. The option's there. JKS worked up the B stairs, saw nothing, and has decided to come back over to his comrades. So shoulder to shoulder, it is an all-in at A. You can see that big flank working its way around T-spawn, but for the time being, it is just going to be Hunter at bat. Smoke starting to move past, and he is able to retract himself enough to come back in by surprise and kill Azza. That's the 3v3.
Yeah, highlights the positioning there. That was great. Pulls off, gets a kill, falls back.
Another smoke up. Ooh, then that flank comes into play. Jax able to snap back JKS. Takes the man advantage into the hands of G2. The retake meant to get rolling, but Liaz has other ideas. He's cleared one of the two players on the bomb site, and low HP for Jax puts him into a very awkward spot. Oh, the HP is so low. It's going to take one bullet, and it connects. Liaz back turned. Hunter drops him down, and G2 back in the lead.
Getting the plant down, step one, getting the kill, step two. That was something that was the puzzle, the piece of the puzzle that G2 were able to figure out on A. Once they got the bomb down, they definitely had it. Wow, that comes down to the wire. G2 win the round. They take the lead as well. And this is where it gets scary for 100 Thieves. This is one of those establishing shot rounds where we look at how good their bread and butter is going to be. That's an interesting way to get that kill. For some reason, we didn't see 100 Thieves get that as quickly versus G2. And I wonder if that's because it was G2 to be a lot more careful about when they turned that corner. They made sure to hold up specific positions on the ramp, clear the sandbags guy, get the operas to get flashed off, and then look to wrap J-Hall. And in this round, you know, that's a free kill. That's a shot in the back. That should not happen.
Hello, here we go. Kenny, not sleeping, sprints in for the pick. Feels a bit pressured, doesn't like it. Smoke in his face, dirt in his eyes. So he retreats ever so slightly. That is really good wallbang damage. Jacob down to 17. They're posturing up here, puffing their chests, trying to make more noise. Oh man, they are not winning this early spam fight.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. G2, they know that they're spamming with a purpose. They know all these angles, but they don't know how much it's actually done. Hunter, it's one of those kills, doesn't matter. Kenny S right for the headshot with the AEWP, will move in for a second kill. Gratisfaction back turned here, but behind a wall as well. Well, we'll see the wall bang come out. We know Kenny S, when he gets bored, he's going to shoot at stuff. Ooh. That's a flick up, but Azur manages to come out ahead 4-4, and they're inching a little bit closer, but the bomb is still very far back, and B is still wide open.
30 seconds, and Amanek, that close position's going to get cleared. We'd seen him succeed from there. Now Nexa over on the opposite side. Rapid headshot versus JKS. 2 members of 100 Thieves left over. Still no bomb control. Yeah. 20 seconds. Where is that
Not
thing?
even time to win. They can't even get the bomb.
They need all the
G2
frags.
do is
That's what they need.
Stay alive.
2 more kills. Oh man, all Hunter has to do is hide.
CTs don't realize this though. I mean, they're not going to throw themselves at the fight, it looks like. Hunter, now that he's scared, he's going to fall back. But yeah, that's it. I mean, objective-based game, right? You can try to get the kills, but it all revolves around the bomb. G2 will win another round and take it to 12-10, excuse me. One step closer to taking this series 2-0.
I mean, we saw G2 fumble around because of bomb. And now that's been swung back the other way. So an anomaly on each side.
Yeah, that made it look like they were so nervous and shaky in the first half, but that was the only round they really messed up that badly. But it's 100 Thieves who can't afford that now. They can't afford that at the moment. Very healthy buy here from both sides. Still the FAMAS and the UMP, but for G2, but that's really no big deal. I think for the most part, they're taking control of the situation, which is the thing to understand. How does Kenny even come up with that kill, man?
Wild. There's Jacob, at least early answer. Now that he's not sent to low HP early on. Poor Aminex trying to play on the forefront of this bomb site, but the frontier's wild out here.
Oh, look at Kenny again. He's just twiddling his thumbs, looking for something to do.
He's using the sniper like a shotgun, swinging it up close. Ooh, a leg shot. But it's enough to have JKS scurry back there. 15 health, would have fallen to the USB. Good Another great flash, an attempt to on the spray down, but just 1 frag. And Jax, he knows he's susceptible to the peak, so he too retreats just a bit behind the wall.
Huge on the counter utility. It's 3-3, but it really looks like, G2 have got things under control. The push up again, but the flash is no good. Goes a bit too high. Easy to dodge there for Azur. More pressure now on Kenny as he moves in to the execute itself. From the smoke. Can't turn around and take Azur out on the A ramp.
Oh, grenade.
That's a bomb plant denied at the very least. 37 seconds, though.
A little start to the 1 versus 3. A little bit of damage versus Liaz is going to be enough to drop him. He sees the player further back on ramp, knows that wouldn't have been the planter. Here's the retreat down short, so he has a good idea as to where both of these players are. Does he fancy his chances? He's been smoked off.
Try to push him into a lurk.
Bomb's halfway gone. Liaz, audacious play here. He's decided to come back over to the left. That's what's going to catch Nexa by surprise. Really smooth moves there. He went back short and then inside of that follow-up smoke, swap back over.
Yeah, I like how you described that audacious play. It's one where it just has to do with the psychology of the situation. Nexa is trying to get him to push through the smoke. He comes back. Liaz takes that as a way to just kind of get to a brand new spot.
Fire in the hole.
Yeah. Nicely done. Nice attempt in the 1v2, but very nicely handled for 100 Thieves. 11-12 as we really round out this game. Round 24, timeout called for the CTs. G2 going to talk about the economy a little bit. They're going to have a conversation about the money, okay? No one's really putting food on the table for this round.
It's just dried up baguette and half a bottle of wine.
Yeah, a couple of breadcrumbs. They've got...
a bowl of heavy cream.
It's very cool, very modern. They've got no money left over.
Nope.
Kenny S can maybe buy pistol, but I don't think he's going to. So what's the eco strategy? I haven't seen them faced with this predicament in a long time. What can the CTs do here that'll be interesting?
It's a 6 strat. This is the Henry G special.
All right, let's hear it.
I've played a Vertigo pug or two with Henry G.
Okay.
And if you're ever on the CT side, you're in one of these weird half-buy situations. Now, it works best right after losing pistol, okay? The creme de la creme here is armor MP9s. All 5 players rush top mid.
Oh, armor MP9s.
Yes.
All 5.
All 5.
You guys win a lot? Or?
Well, that's not the important part.
Right, I'll forget about that.
It's about the teamwork and the
Minor
camaraderie.
details. Okay.
But I do feel like you can, at times, catch players, especially T's, sitting in the first hallway of top mid. We've seen a couple members sit back behind the, let's say, generator up here where all these wires connect. And that's a good spot to be if you're holding for the top mid push, but it also forgoes any top ladder control. So if anybody wants to make sure that pistols can't take top ladder.
The thing is, we're seeing, it was like the first half, that would have been nice for 100 Thieves to use, because G2 were doing a lot of stuff at mid, like on their T side. It's just not as much of a focus for 100 Thieves. So, they could come out with a fast flank at worst, right? No one's going to be here to wait, so they're pushing through. B, they're doing the chaos drop. It's all USPs. The spray's here for JKS. He catches them off guard, and there's not going to be a player to die, I don't think.
Oh, just one. Just poor Jacob.
That deserved a golf clap.
Yeah, that was great.
I think so. It was just an anti-eco. Can't get too excited. But it is, at the very least, right now, numerically right now. I mean, every round is just so big. If you could pull the eco out, you'd be on for something interesting. Jax is so little money, man. They can't even buy on this round either.
All right. Well, this is where they,
wow, that was such a big swing, that 2v1 that they were able to close out.
Props to them.
Wow. Okay.
They get to reap the rewards. Quick and easy last round.
As just like, you taught me this.
Yeah, he doesn't know it quite is. Is this it? It must be it's here. Clearly missing the mark. Monkey see, monkey do.
Well, I mean, that might be the strat. CT's here at mid for one of the first times. Yeah.
As is caught hopping. It's not just USPs like in the last round, so you'd hope that 100 Thieves haven't been lulled into a false sense of security. They double back down to the base of ladder, grab their bomb, and start heading strong towards the A site. Why? Because Gratisfaction's already worked up short.
They're making a lot of noise, though. The rotates are out instantly.
They're running over. Now, they must know Gratisfaction could be close. Ooh, there's lots of bodies starting to pile up here, but there's most certainly an opening for a plant. It's a scary prospect when you hear these deagles rattling off, but he is going to get that bomb down. And once these smoke fades, should be easy pickings. That is a dangerous game, Jacob.
Yeah, for real.
But he's tucked in.
Tightrope walker over here.
Ooh, that's a big kill.
Wait a second.
Pop flash.
They're close.
Meant to keep anybody at bay, but Nexa not scared. He's going to move this one forward. Little bomb tap. That's going to reveal a position that's pretty easy to deal with. I mean, Jacob has nowhere to go, so JKS has to clutch this 1v4. He doesn't get the man off bomb, and they've managed it.
Yeah, get loud. That's insane. They were able to get close enough that they could pull off the defuse. 10 seconds to go, but it turns green. Amanek locks it down. That's 13 here for 100 Thieves. They had their economy broken. That was one of the easiest rounds so far to pull out. And you imagine that they win that on an A retake with pistols. This was so nicely played from Nexa and his team. I mean, here they bait Gratisfaction out with the fake the fake defuse and his teammate shooting.
That's rough, man.
Let's go! And he comes out of the tall grass ready to spray. There's no chance there for Gratisfaction. Everybody,
I mean, that's
contributing a whole lot there.
That's a real kick in the koalas.
Yeah. Is that what you call them?
That's so rough. They made mincemeat of the USP play. Just Eagles to work with in the next. You saw them get a bit ambitious. Jacob's play as well, you know, like once the smoke was on bomb, you understand why he had to go for the spam, but he has a bit of a gimmick position. Rough spot as G2 managed to hold on to a one-round lead. It seems like that's where they've been for the most part of this map, but here we go, bringing it back into the site once more. Hunter with the high ground. You gotta be careful if you're Liaz here. He is the solo bomb carrier. He closes that distance and he punches in the digits.
Oh, he's lucky to see no grenades coming his way, but he can't actually escape that easily. Smoke goes down to his left, but he still can't move away safely. Luckily, cast the spell and Harry's out of there.
Here we go. He's looking to float back into safety if he can find it. Azza's gonna be coming in with this late lurk. There it is, fire at the feet. They burn out the witch. Gratisfaction looking to switch back momentum. Azza's flank is down for the count, and he's seeing around. Oh, another!
That's it!
Jacob with a team kill.
Oh my god,
That's gonna sting. G2, not yet here with the win, but at least one round closer.
Joey, cue that up. Was that off the corner of a spray, or did he just kill like somebody who, was he beside an enemy at least, or?
Gratisfaction was inside of the smoke.
Yeah.
Just on the side of it.
Right.
This is the replay.
Okay.
So Jacob's behind him on ramp. This is the flank not going well. Jacob tries to kill Jax.
Oh, thank God for this rewind. Wow, production, baby. Yeah. He's a little bit in the way. Okay, so it's okay. I mean, he probably would have died anyway, but yeah, team kill doesn't help. 14-12, man. And we saw 100 Thieves after things went south. They decided to go light speed up the A ramp. So luckily they didn't do that this time. We have time to talk about it. Oof. Great aid there on Gratisfaction. Down to 56, near perfect.
He's got shrapnel in his mustache.
Might be a good look.
Well, 14-12 isn't. But they will trudge along back to the B site. Nexa, ready and waiting. He definitely just saw something. Shoulder peeked it, drops the smoke, and retreats behind Big Green. Jack's at bat from mid.
Yeah,
Molotov, frag. Looking to do a good bit of utility damage. I mean, damn, look at the HP here from 100 Thieves.
Highlighting mid-control again, G2, part of their game plan, both sides. And it looks like it's going to be the reason that they win on this round. Nexa, oh my god, after they get that info, do some nade damage, comes through with a spam. However, it's still even strength. And the 100 Thieves are split up. Kenny S has made presence now on the B site. They got to be confused as to what the setup is here for G2.
They're not quite sure what the heck's going on. Here's Gratisfaction, just peeks in as Hunter comes off the angle. Now that could give him a good bit of timing. I mean, in Hunter's mind, he just checked this, and he is very concerned with what's been going on at the B bomb site. Smoke in his face, if he jumps up, Gratisfaction might catch him completely by surprise, but no, it's Azza with a good headshot to keep them here even 3v3. Bombs down.
In the post plant, you know. I mean, oh, there's something. That's a slides off his teammate's head.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll see something. It won't be worth anything, though.
An electric slide, two-man boost. But the drive-by's a miss. Jacob, oh no, he is
Poor
just
Jacob
stuck.
has to just sit there and die. Are you kidding me?
That's a bit awkward. Little small mistake is made. Azza, he's going to go down after just the first one. Gratisfaction trying to connect a headshot here. He's got 56 health to work with, and Jax is already on that bomb. He has to go for the peek. He has to stop it, and the mag goes dry, but I don't know if there's time. Yep, he's got it. Oh, a 15th for G2, down to the wire.
Dude, so smart. Just budgeting that ammo because he knew what he had to work with and couldn't come through the second headshot. Such a good attempt. 3 rounds of difference. G2 could potentially win this 2-0.
What is that from Jacob?
This is crazy. I mean, he's set in a couple positions there where it looked like he was kind of uncomfortable. It's like someone told him to stand there, but he didn't know what he was supposed to do.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It was like, someone was like, go fix that bookshelf. And he's like, I've only ever built IKEA furniture. You know, I don't know how to do this.
Poor guy. Cuts his own hand off.
Yeah, so he was exposed maybe not his favorite map. He got exposed in the sandbags with his back onto Kenny S up the ramp for that early kill. There, he's jumped out onto the railing.
Yeah, right. No, that's like
a little bit unaware of exactly how much he's showing. Yeah,
and you could argue as well that when he was tucked into that closer position, well, he kind of jumped the gun on the spray down too. So like he played into the weakness of his spot. He was caught with just his rumpus sticking out a couple times.
I guess, you know, for him, it's like the indignation of falling and dying was not worth it. He was like, I can just be Metal Mario here behind the steel pillar and hopefully last long enough that my teammates can come out and help me.
He did survive an op shot and a couple deegs on the follow-up.
But it wasn't enough.
Nope. And here it is. Final attempt, perhaps, for the 100 Thieves. 3 map and match points. G2 looking to take their opponent's map choice. In our pregame interviews, every player predicted their opening match going 2-0. And that may be the case. Here we go. Hunter's got that opening kill. He's going to hear walking on the rafters. Nexa.
They're looking for a boost, but Nexa's smoke, I mean, could he get that information? They're making too much noise. He's going to push out. Yeah.
Ooh, but
try to take down the bottom of the totem.
Doesn't line it up right away. The spray just good for 1. Aminek's going to have a gun advantage over Liaz, just working with that Mac 10. And here's the big flank from Jax. He could be the nail in the coffin. He's going to decide to pull this off. Clears Jacob, who's not watching flank. Down now, 2 quick kills. And G2 have picked up this second map, victorious on Vertigo. Mohan, who would have thought that they would have come in with such conviction?
Mogul moves, baby. That's huge from G2. Looking super solid.
If you like those videos, you'll love these videos. Make sure to leave a like and sub to Blast, and we'll catch up with you soon.